welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thanks to all those watching or listening live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or on YouTube, or listening to us in the future on the podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here today. Actually, I didn't get the text that I usually get, like telling me an ETA. Shawn Belle will be here. And Reed Clarke from Sport Edmonton back once again. Reed, thanks for coming in as always.
Man, always good to be here.
It's always great having you in. And, Reed, Belsey always gives me like, they're like 9:15 or something. Like he doesn't have to. But now that he's not doing it, I'm a little worried.
Oh.
I want him to be okay.
I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
He was in the building yesterday.
I know.
He did two guys.
I know. I was pleasantly surprised when they're like, see you, Belsey. I was like, what the hell were you doing there yesterday?
It's
not Wednesday.
I went and grilled him right when he got here. I was like, what the hell are you doing here? Why are you here? What are you doing?
And probably threw him off.
But he's going to be on two guys tomorrow too. So 3 straight days of Belsey for us in this office.
This is a good thing. Yeah. He's great.
More Belsey, the better.
That means no Cass tonight.
Oh, is he doing pre-free with you tonight?
Well, Cass is gone. I better talk to
Belsey.
Okay.
Because he did say he was doing pre and post.
He did say that?
He said a pre and post. I just didn't know which pre and post he meant. But maybe he's doing those pre and post.
He sent me. He always at the.
You got Belsey then.
We'll figure it out after this show.
I'm going to say you have Belsey and all
I got
that.
faith.
Getting into scheduling conflict on there.
It'll all happen. It'll all work out. Yeah. You let me know if you need more coffee, by the way, too, because we'll gladly.
That's good. That's your home brew. That's nice.
Yeah, that was just beans in the coffee, but I didn't know if I was running out of beans or not. But then I have Maxwell House. Those are Starbucks
coffee beans, by the way, too, that are in there.
Well, thanks for telling me now.
Oh, relax.
Well, I brew this coffee. I'm doing all this, and now, there's this other coffee that's better than
whatever it is, Matty. It's good. It's good stuff. Okay.
Like Fox is, Fox is good.
Yeah,
it's a great little spot, and they've been
rave reviews. I haven't made it my way there, but everyone is. You see it all on TikTok. You see it all on Insta. It's very out there.
I go straight black on it too, so I'm testing it out. Legit.
Actually, you launched some of the new apparel, and you were doing shots at Fox.
At Fox, yeah. Well, we were doing the downtown market a few days too. Yep. So they kind of had a pop up there, and we were right across the street. We had a great setup. They had live music, the coffee shop right there. So we got to know the guys there.
Jarrell and Michaela?
Yeah, they were awesome. So when they had the spot open, we were looking to get some shots. We're like, hey, what's kind of a vintage looking vibe? And have you seen the room in there? Impressive.
It is.
It's really cool. So we're like, we got to do the shots here. And then when I was in there the other day, just grabbing a coffee, he's like, man, we should be selling some of these hats or something here. I'm like, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Your hats and gear, their coffee and donuts and paninis and soups. And they are going to be doing 6 o'clock or lager. I'm going to have to get them in touch. They have to be in touch with Alley Cat. So a good reminder.
Too, right? Yeah. They're just not regular coffee shop. They're staying later. And it's always pretty busy in there too.
I walked by it the other day. It was packed.
He told me, he's like, man, I'm surprised how well it's gone to start.
Yeah. It is
good for them.
What was I going to say about that?
Well, I do that. Spency 5 cents. He says, God bless anyone who still brews actual pots of coffee and not the cup stuff. I actually have, weirdly enough, a Keurig in my fridge. There's a connection to my water dispenser that can brew a quick coffee. Yeah.
In your fridge?
In the fridge.
At home?
Yes. And it's like...
How come I don't have this fridge?
Well, my fridge crapped out, so I had to buy a new one. Okay. And so I bought this one that had this a little Keurig attachment. So I use that when I want a really quick coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like a quick just 8 ounce or something. Just want that. But I'll always brew coffee. I need the beans. I will throw them in both. I have a coffee pot at home here that grinds the coffee. I want to brew it properly. Even if it's just 1 cup, I will put just enough water for that one, just a little over 1 cup. But I do not want the cups and all.
If that fridge was set up a little espresso shots, so I'd be hitting that all the time.
Do you want an espresso machine?
That would be great.
I've gone into at one point, I think it's Gager's fault because he showed me some of them. I got into the TikTok espresso algorithm where I was watching people make espressos just over and over, and they looked so good and they looked delicious. I was like, I want to go buy one, but they're like $1,000 for a good one.
They're good. That's the car guy move. All the dealerships, they have little espresso machines and they just hit them nonstop.
No wonder they have so much energy.
That's how you got to get energy. That's how you sell them.
That or smoking cigarettes.
Well,
Dropped it outside,
you got to
smoking
mix them
cigarettes.
both. You got to mix them.
You gotta
Yeah,
the back
you're
and
the
forth.
high, you're gonna come down a little bit, right?
Packing darts as a snack.
Bootski, coffee snobs, same category as beer snobs. I'm not going to rip you for using a Keurig. I just prefer going and buy the beans, and it's probably cheaper. I buy a bag of beans for like a Starbucks beans at Costco. It's probably cheaper than buying a bunch of cake cups.
I made a mistake. I was at Costco getting a tire rotation like a month and a half ago. And as I was waiting, and it was the Costco I used to work at, so some of the staff that I used to work with are still there. They've been there
I
forever.
didn't know you worked at a Costco.
Yeah, I was in the tire shop, and it was so much fun. Anyway, I'm like, I'm running out of coffee at home, and I have a Keurig, and they had like their bold blend on sale, and it was like 120 K cups for like $35, something ridiculous like that. And then I'm like, Starbucks, bold blend, McCafe. Like my favorite is McCafe, but I also like Starbucks. But then the bold blend, my favorite coffee is Americano. So speaking of espresso,
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
And I go to like my former colleagues at Costco, and I'm like, which coffee should I get? Because this one's on sale, but I want this one. I usually like McCafe. They're like, get the bold blend, Kirkland Sig. You're gonna love it.
You don't like it?
And then hang on. I'll tell you one sec. I go to another person that I used to work with. And I'm like, hey, so-and-so said this one to get. Oh, yeah, you have to get that one. So I get it. I try it. I'm like, And I realize they're both like heavy smokers. So their taste buds are probably shot. I'm like, idiot. Why did I?
Well, they got to push the Kirkland a little bit, right?
Well, the Kirkland, at one point, it even had the label on it. It was Starbucks blended.
Yeah, probably.
Costco started in Seattle.
So, like,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with Kirkland usually. Although I do not like Kirkland golf balls.
Yeah.
That was a big craze about getting Kirkland golf balls. I went and got a bunch of them. I was excited. I actually found that I played worse with Kirkland golf balls than I do with other golf balls, and I needed to get rid of them.
It's got to be the golf balls too. Right?
Exactly.
Well, no, but it's like the
Well
golf
said.
ball does make a difference, and I found like I would lose yardage with that golf ball than when I'd put something else down. I did not. For me, I did not like the Kirkland golf balls. I will never golf a Kirkland golf ball again.
Aren't they like Pro V1 knockoffs?
They took. I think no, that was Vice. Vice took actual people that designed it and stuff. There's a connection with.
Well, somebody's making them, right? I mean, they don't make it their own. They go to a company to do it, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't like the merch. I don't like when people are wearing the Kirkland like this sweatshirts. Have you seen like kids doing it?
Yes.
I don't know. Like they're like, oh, it's really cool. I'm like, it's not really cool. It's not. You're not making a statement here. I'm not buying this, dude. I'm not into that.
You're breaking Zach Become's heart right now.
I'm just saying.
He's a Kirkland Sig kid.
Bronco Nick, Bridgestone golf balls are good. I actually find Bridgestone's E6s. I hit those really well.
They're good,
I like the
good golf
Bridgestones.
balls, yeah.
It matters. I do like Vices too. I've always hit Vices pretty solid. So there's my little golf ball.
You see who sculled it last night on the.
Was it Kisner?
Yeah, Kisner.
Yeah,
he had a
He
rough night,
had that
apparently.
flopper. He just sculled in there to hit the stick.
And they were just laughing. at him.
Tiger was dying.
Yeah.
Was dying. I mean,
Team LA, baby.
Could have killed somebody there with that shot.
Yeah. What do you think of it? Because I liked it. I watched a bunch of that.
Man, it's pretty awesome. You could play there, dude. Oh,
Imagine like if they rent that out throughout the rest of the week.
yeah.
That'd be so cool.
You've got a bachelor party in the area. Like we're gonna go rent the TGL
Don't you think they
stadium.
might? Like maybe
They
not
must.
there yet, or maybe they're thinking about it, but they got to rent that out for events, corporate
For something-
stuff,
oh,
bookings, big
yes.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that that's in the plan because why else are you building that for 3 months of the year?
Yeah.
Because I think it goes till March TGL.
Yeah.
And then so what else are you using this massive building for?
Right.
I think they have to be planning to be like we're gonna rent this out to other people to use or like the NFL comes to town, they're gonna come use it or something. I actually learned with Super Bowls when they come. The NFL requires host cities to provide them at free of cost 3 top-tier golf courses so they can have an NFL tournament at. And
Free of cost. Hey?
it's all the host city's paying for all these
Yeah.
things.
Hell yeah.
And also they do a bowling tournament. So the NFL
Do they?
requires 3 or 4 top-tier bowling alleys so they can do a bowling tournament at.
I kind of like that.
I do like that.
You keep
Makes
them
sense.
occupied.
I was trying to think what golf courses we would give. I think it would be
Blackhawk.
Blackhawk,
Mayfair.
Royal Mayfair,
Yeah.
Glendale,
The ranch.
the Ranch.
We do love the ranch.
bubble
here,
one-
right?
Yeah.
We do love the ranch here. It's great.
But Glendale maybe, yeah.
Windermere's pretty good.
Windy's nice. I like Windermere. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not
The
getting
bowling alleys is another question. I mean,
I don't think we have to talk
well, you got to
bowling
put
alleys for that
Plaza
one.
in there. I mean, it's you got to put the 5 pin
Plaza
old school
Bowl.
Plaza.
It is a great spot.
Oh, it's like step back in time.
You want to go have some fun. Plaza's a great
It
spot.
is.
Yeah.
Back in our old stomping grounds.
That's right.
Blind Ducks right there.
Been there a couple
Yeah.
of times.
RTA. I do have, we've got EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada storage experts, more than 2 decades of helping Canadians through life's transitions. Right now, snowy savings on first 4 weeks free, plus
There he is.
free cancellation. Sentinel.ca for more information. You're going to that spot.
going to that one
You
'cause-
wanted that spot.
Yeah, because yes, but I want to talk about.
So Trev loves his phone books. Zach brought Trev phone books, and then he put it there with a note. Trev's favorite coffee table books, the phone books. And I realized we've been missing book tables.
Yeah, you need.
Coffee table books.
Yeah.
There it is. We need the Kramer book to put on this table now. It's been missing something. So I need to go buy some.
Is that an updated
books.
phone? Is that like a 2025
That's a great
edition?
I can't tell.
I'm going to say no. Just based off this initial look. What year is this? 2017, actually.
Nice.
Okay.
Good year.
Good year.
It was the gold book winner of the ADP in 2017. So maybe this is 2018.
James H. Brown on the back.
James H. Brown. Oh, yeah, I'm over there. Younger James H. Brown.
Yeah. Well, that's Trent H. Brown.
Sorry, Trent. I don't even. Oh, I need to get you on screen.
That's okay.
I'm losing my mind today.
Well, you were trying to do something with the arcade machine. You kind of broke it.
I didn't break anything.
I'm just teasing.
You
Hi,
broke
Belsey.
it?
No,
Wow.
I didn't
Tough.
break it.
You're putting in like a full week's worth of shifts this
we get the
week.
panel off back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like a,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the
a
panel's
tiny
supposed to be
Turner
off.
screwdriver, maybe. Was
No,
in your
I'm
hand.
trying to
wonky.
split it, and the only thing is it's not splitting properly, so I got to figure out how to do it differently. The stuff I bought, I think I'm gonna have to return a little bit of it. I haven't told Dusty anything yet.
You guys got Jam? Is it different games on the machine?
6,400 games.
Oh yeah. Do you got NBA Jam on there?
It has
Yes.
many versions
yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
you gotta have-
Yeah.
you gotta have
Because
Jam.
it's got like Nintendo and SNES, Sega
Arcade.
Genesis, and a couple more. So
Yeah.
it's got like Jam for different versions.
Okay.
So
You just got
yesterday,
to find the right one that you want.
I've been playing the Super Nintendo version, and some of the boys have been playing it too. Then I played the arcade version
Yeah.
yesterday, and the game speed is slower.
Oh really?
I still got my ass kicked.
Oh.
In Jam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
Well,
game, though.
come talk to me when you get beat all 27 teams in Jam, because that's how you get a grand champion, and then you gotta keep
Okay.
rolling, and you gotta beat them again.
Okay,
But it's not easy. Once you're playing the computer, like they get feisty.
they're good.
Oh yeah, they're pushing every
Yeah.
time, like to try to get a shot off, get stuff.
I hate that.
Who's the team that you go with?
Ooh, good question.
Yesterday I went with
The Supersonics?
I did Supersonics
Good choice.
last
Great,
week,
yeah.
and I lost. I think yesterday I went with the Spurs.
The Spurs. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be Robinson and Duncan.
I think Duncan wasn't
No,
there yet.
maybe Elliott. Maybe
Yeah.
Sean Elliott in there. I think
I even tried a Trailblazers one game last week.
Yeah.
Not.
you got Drexler
I
and
had
somebody.
Clyde the
Yeah.
Glide, and it was
The Glide. Yeah.
I like the old
Struggled.
school Warriors, and I'll do Tim Hardaway and Chris Mullen. Right.
okay.
okay.
So Hardaway, he's a slasher, and then Mullen just hits every three.
yeah, that's right.
It's-
See, I like going for the three.
Go,
I'm a
you-
big three guy.
yeah,
It's
it's
not
a good
easy.
strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. I'll tell you that much.
TSN in 2020 put out a ranking of the best duos. So number one was Pacers with Reggie Miller and Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Then it
I
goes.
didn't know that.
Then it goes Jazz with Malone and Stockton.
Yep.
Yeah,
I should have done that.
Supersonics with Kemp and Benjamin.
Yep.
Suns with Barkley,
Kevin Johnson.
Dan
Dan Marley.
Marley. There we go.
Thunder
Sorry.
Dan.
Yeah. Barkley, the round mound he's pretty good in that game.
Then you got Hawks, Dominique, Stacey Ogman, and then you got Warriors at 6.
Okay.
That is the top one.
Okay.
7 Knicks with Ewing and Oakley. Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
with those. Two.
I'll just pound him.
I'd always go Supersonics or Suns.
Those are good calls.
Yeah.
Oh, Rockets.
bully ball.
Elijah Wan and Kenny Smith,
I
number
tried
10.
Suns. No bueno.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
think
for you?
I won one game. I can't remember. I think I used like the Mavs or something, and I'm like, how did I win?
You got to go with your heart, Tommy. Right? You got to go. What feels right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to go Bulls, but there's no. It's Pippen
play- there's no
and
Jordan.
Luke. What the hell is his last name?
Oh,
They got
Longley.
Horace Grant.
Longley, yeah.
Longley.
The best duo, it says Pippen and Grant. They were 15, just ahead of
Horace
Worthy and
Grant?
Divac
Yeah.
of the Lakers.
But you have to flip to Grant. Pippin's on there right away, but then
You got to make the changes.
yeah.
There's teams that you work well with and teams that you don't, and others work well with other teams and others don't. Tecmo's the perfect example. There are teams that I play very well with and teams I don't. Dusty's the opposite with those teams, and you find your own skills.
It's almost like it fits your personality.
Exactly.
Right? Tom says he wants to be a 3 guy.
Yeah.
He likes the new day. He likes the
I
new
don't
NBA.
see a John. Like I don't see
It's
a
a
guy.
relationship, right?
It's
Yeah.
a slasher out of Tom. I see a 3 and D guy.
It's a finesse guy with a lot of sass.
Yeah, that's 3 and D.
Hey there. Nice hat. It's not
Thank
as
you.
nice as this one, but it's still really nice. Can I talk about this hat?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this I think Reed is some of your best work. You and Shawn Hill.
Thank you.
Actually, you're wearing the Edmonton Eskimos 1914 Edmonton.
Got
They're
it,
the
yeah.
Western Canadian Baseball League champions, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And I had to explain this to a friend of mine that I worked at hockey school with who was from Chicago, and he wanted one of those. And I had one left over that you'd given me that I hadn't worn yet, and I gave it to him, and he treasured it. He wears it to ball games. He sent me a picture from Wrigley wearing it, and I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
pretty cool.
he's like, this hat, everybody asked me questions about it.
Yeah.
He goes, what team is it again? I'm like, it's the Edmonton Eskimos baseball team from 1914. And I explained because I had to like read up on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is wild, man. So anyway, this is the Trappers new era snapback. And it's,
No, I saw the card that was attached to it.
Oh,
like
the
this
card.
is beautiful.
Oh, the Homer.
yeah,
you got a
always
great
do
card for
this.
that one.
Yeah,
But then you got the Homer.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You got a
Homer.
Homer playing card as like the tag.
It's a nice hat.
It's super nice hat. And you launched with this one, the teal with the black brim,
Correct,
90s
yeah.
logo as well. But like this logo, the catcher that's a Trapper, was one of my favorites. And you
Yep.
did it black on black. So these are available. I know you're
Yeah.
putting them in a couple of shops locally.
Yeah, a
here.
couple retail spots, but right now it's citychamps.ca.
Yep.
So we call that kind of the OG logo. So that's based on the 80s team,
Yes.
right? So that was the 80s team when they were affiliated with the Angels. I love that back catcher logo. I mean, just the name and the brand and everything is so cool. So to take that one instead of going with the traditional red and blue, we kind of went to black on black. And made even the back catcher guys got the black kind of inside on it. And but we've been waiting for these for a little while from New Era, right? So we got them custom made by them and sent the designs, and they banged out these snapbacks. So that's the OG Guyanese one. And then we got like a teal one that's pretty sick too.
Yeah.
And that's with the 90s logo, which is slightly different guy. He's got we call him the old mustache Trapper, right?
I like that one
Yeah,
too.
that one's pretty sick too. So it's two kind of different looks, right? But so far they're going really well, and we're excited about them.
They're great. Super nice hats. Thank you for bringing them in.
Yeah,
today,
of course.
too.
And then we throw the Homer hand tag on there, right? Just
Homer's the best.
Homer's the best.
You got very excited.
I don't know what to tell you. If you had
Homer's
a
like the
mascot
best
ranking,
mascot.
who beats him?
In Edmonton, he's number one. And in Canada, I think
It's
only
not Hunter.
Yuppie.
Yeah, not Hunter.
Yuppie was the only one that I
Yuppie's-
love. Like
yeah.
Yuppie was
And how
Yuppie's
Yuppie
so
went
good.
from the Expos to the Canes
Yeah.
is pretty special.
kept him
right?
around.
Yeah.
Like Homer was growing up. I was just loved Homer. Nanook was
Yeah.
awesome. Loved
You would
Nanook.
have him
Loved
that
the
high
Gooba
in the
from the
mascot
Bears.
rankings?
But pardon?
You'd have him that high in the rank.
Homer was the
mascot
best.
rankings?
Yes. In Edmonton.
Well,
yes.
yeah, in Edmonton, yes, but
Sure.
like
Canada?
Canada.
Who else
I don't know.
besides Yuppie? Like I don't even know other mascots
What
in this
about
country.
Carlton?
Who's Carlton?
He's the
The-
Toronto Maple Leafs
He's
bear.
the bear.
No,
Yeah.
no.
What about the
not
raptor that
the-
got deflated?
That is always a fun. Now I don't know if I would consider that a
That
mascot.
was like
That little,
Yeah,
the little
there's like a
raptor
little
that
raptor
shoots
and
up.
then- yeah,
It's a gimmick.
He is fun to watch.
yeah. The
That's a
raptor
good
himself is actually pretty good too.
Yeah, but I'd take Homer.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a
More
smiling
like
baseball.
Oh, I understand.
And his
that.
antics, like he'd
Yeah.
be above the dugout, like stealing hats, he was doing crazy stuff.
as a kid, he just got this massive smile. You want to
I
go
don't know
hug
who
Homer?
was Homer most of the time. We should probably find that out.
I'm surprised
Right?
we don't know.
Because we've been talking about doing like some Homer tees, a couple different merch items. But
Oh
we
my
should get,
God.
like the original Homer, like the guy's still kicking around.
Because
Edmonton, right?
wasn't Homer and the polar bear like they would always hang out together at then Eskimo games?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember Homer being there.
Homer wasn't there.
No,
They had Punter.
They had punt. I knew
So
about the football.
Nanook
Yep.
It was just
But I
from when
thought
I
he
was
would
a
show up
kid.
from time to time.
Well, maybe when
Maybe
the
he did.
Eskimos owned the Trappers, because there was
Yeah.
how many years?
Yeah,
like
there was a
3
few
or 4
years there.
years that they owned them.
Yeah.
Something like that.
For what I remember as a kid with the Eskimos, I remember Nanook, and then eventually they added Punter, and it was just those two. And now it's Spike.
Spike.
Spike, yeah.
But
They have a spike.
what if
They
Spike?
for elks and stuff.
What if
Because
Spike
Nanook's
gets
gone.
retired? Because they're kind of
Spike has
going away
got to
from.
go.
I don't know.
They're kind of going away from the old Elks look. The name stays for now.
Maybe
right?
just keep one mascot then. Maybe
Bring back.
or put something
Hunter.
else.
Nanook.
Yeah,
You
bring him back.
Well, you
Give him a
can't.
different name.
You can't because you got rid of him,
David.
and you connected
Just
it.
call him Dave.
They got rid of him because you connected it to the name now.
There's multiverses.
Was there a
I
story
know.
how he went away? Like,
No, I don't.
did
think
he
so.
just drop off, or did they have a little story? They like he
Yeah.
went back up north.
The Poochie
to
went
join
away
some
to his home
family.
planet.
Why, you
Yeah,
should.
that's
Like,
exactly
you shouldn't
what it
just
is.
break
Like-
kids' heart and be like, "Where's that Nook?" And he's gone in the game. You should
Right.
tell a story like
He went up.
He had to go.
He
You know,
went up to a province to a farm
Yeah.
to go be with others.
To be
Holy
with-
smokes.
he went to a farm. Hey.
Yeah.
He went to the farm, kids. He went to the farm.
What if
There's an elks farm that the organization has up north that they went and he went to.
What if Nanook crawled into the hole that Hunter crawled out of? You know what? Hunter can crawl back in that damn hole for all I care.
He's scary.
But
He is scary.
He's
that's
a little
terrifying
scary.
mascot.
Yeah.
I
My
think
kids
it-
now at the age where they're kind of like him, they weren't up to him, but there was a few years where, man, they're petrified of that dude.
I think if they don't get rid of Nanook, no one cares at the time. I think if Nanook was still around, no one would have connected things and they would have just thought it was just a mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now that they passed it and moved on from him, I don't think you can bring him back because then it's like a full.
Well, there's got to be a whole
connection, right?
story how he came
Yeah.
back.
There would have to be.
Yeah.
But I don't. Spike, I don't know. No, so Homer's Homer's like UP's number one.
Yeah,
sorry.
UP, I mean, yeah, I love UP. I will say, because I was at the Globetrotters game on Sunday, those mascots, Big G's pretty fun. There's Globey and there's Big G. They got two, but Big G's the big inflatable guy. And when he pops off his eyes and like it hits people courtside, it's pretty funny. And then when he like runs and falls on his face, like I've seen it now, I don't know, maybe 10 times, but it's still hilarious.
Big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big G.
Yukon Jack was in and he was there and he said like that game ended with this like deep three. Like everyone had to hit a shot or something like that.
Yeah.
And some guy hit like this massive three from like his own three or something like that. Those games just seem incredible.
He went at half court and he did an overhead, like backwards shot to win the game.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, I got beef, and I was telling this to Tom, like in the scoring, because I was looking up, and they were just putting up artificial points for the Globies, right? Because I was putting up,
You were hoping
well,
the
I had
generals,
generals, right? So like it was tied after one, and I was saying to my 6-year-old, I'm like, this might be the day. Like they haven't won since 1971. You know, maybe things like mess up and they don't go exactly to script, and somebody hits a three. You never know. So. And it was still kind of tight at half, but they started putting like, I was like, what are the 4 more points for the Globies on there? Like out of nowhere. Like you can't just add, I get to script, but you can't just add points, guys. Like
That's a weird
that's
one.
not legit, right?
Yeah.
if they want some PR attention, they need to get the Generals to win soon.
Yeah.
Imagine the story
Yeah.
that's going to happen if all of a sudden the Generals won. Like everyone, oh my God, the Generals actually won.
It's the longest losing streak ever.
Yep.
You need to pull that off at some point.
Yeah, there's got to be a day. So I'll keep going and I'll keep hoping that they can come out.
I respect that.
I thought they were due.
That's from Simpsons, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Krusty, he put a bunch of money on it. His accountant was like, "Why'd you bet on them?" I thought they were due, and then
And they need to
he
start
always
selling
won.
Generals merch too. Like, come on,
Do they not?
they blow through the merch. I mean, they probably do like $100,000 of merch a game. Like, it's crazy the
Really?
merch that goes. Like everyone's lined up the whole game buying stuff, and you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Right? Like every kid's got to get something to basketball at least. And there's no Generals merch.
Really?
Yeah, they had like its greatest rivalry of all time, and it was like, which is like rivalry. Like I don't know about that.
The Globetrotters just like
Yeah, and then so I bought it for my son, and on the back it's got all the check marks of the Globetrotters win, and then it's got the one for the Generals.
That's a good T-shirt.
That's a good tee. So we
That's
had
a
to
good
get
one.
that one,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I want a Generals jersey or something.
Washington Generals merch.
That would be good.
They just need to get somebody that goes rogue on the Generals.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Right? Like,
And-
you know
and
what?
like
I'm
the-
tired of losing. I'm hitting this shot.
I'm showing
Starts
you.
hitting a couple threes, and who knows, right?
Starts fouling.
Hang on.
Like really like playing.
Yeah,
be
yeah.
amazing.
Be like, dude, what are you doing?
Knocking a guy in his ass.
Going for my win.
I'm wondering here, if only we knew someone who did merchandise.
Interesting.
If only we did.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I did send
It's
a
on
message.
Etsy.
Oh, is it?
You can
find
get
it.
on
yeah.
Etsy. Anything, but it's not real stuff. But it's Etsy, so you
It'll
could have your
fall
own
apart.
Etsy.
There was one guy in the Generals who hit a couple threes, and I sent him DM on Instagram. I'm like, hey man, good shooting tonight. Like I thought you had it, and he hit me back. He's like, appreciate the support. We'll get him. We'll get him one of these days. So they're thinking about it, right?
That's good. Hey, quickly, Sean Z says, got to do an end zone pub hat with a double E colors. You had end zone.
Yeah,
pub
we did the
t-shirts,
tees. We
which
did. I
were
mean,
great.
RIP end zone pub.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a liquor store.
yeah,
now.
we should bring.
And daycare.
And the daycare is still there.
Was the daycare always there?
It's been there forever.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. End zone pub next to a daycare.
Now it's by a liquor
That liquor
store.
store.
Makes lots
Yeah,
of
yeah.
sense, Daddy.
You're like, go pick up. You're like, I
Of all
might
the
as well
pubs,
go
of
here
all the pubs, it's
first.
end zone, right?
I'm gonna
Like,
go
that's
have
the
one.
large-
Yeah.
You're gonna go over
I
there.
know.
Yeah.
We
Daddy
should
will be
bring back the end zone. I did love those.
Those
They
are
weren't
great.
the hottest seller, to be honest, but like kind of if you know, you know, right?
It was one of those. It was
Yeah.
like an underground.
Yeah.
Like if you know, you know.
Somebody else asked, what's the website again for the Trappers hats?
Citychamps.ca.
Boom.
You guys are
Think-
working on some other stuff too right now. I know.
Yeah. We're working on stuff. It's way too early to talk about it, but I will anyways. But we had a good meeting because you need hot takes on this show,
Yeah.
right? We had a good meeting with a certain local sports team yesterday, and we're kicking around some ideas on a collab, which could
Very
be
good.
really cool. Maybe baseball focused.
Very good.
Yeah. So hopefully that all comes and we can get it maybe going in time for like playoffs, MLB opening day, which I think is the 27th of March. So some synergies there, which
Wheels
could be
are
really
turning.
cool. Yeah.
Castor, 1990. One of my friends wore the Homer mascot outfit for several seasons of the Trappers, hoping to get him to come to Super Bowl party at Century and introduce him to you boys. He's got stories. So we may have a
Okay.
connection to Homer.
This is amazing.
Whoa,
That is
look at
amazing.
It's a
that.
breakthrough.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're going to do a Homer merch, I mean, that's the guy right there.
That's one of the guys.
Okay.
Am I remembering this correctly with Homer? He would like tuck himself into the ball part of the mascot costume and like shake a little bit. Do you remember that?
Like dent himself almost.
So like he would, no, not dent himself. He would like squat down or crouch down and he'd be in the ball and he would like shake. So it would be like a big baseball with a smile shaking. Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't remember at all.
Okay.
And I'm hoping it's not true just so I can chirp you about like mixing in a water when you go to a game.
I was like 6.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't remember that at all.
The taunting thing was big. I remember being on the dugout of the opposing team and he'd be taunting them. And I think they would even get pretty pissed off, some of the players,
I love
Good.
that.
and have a moment like a Mac T kind of, pulling the tongue. Like I think actually like getting in a little bit of fight with him, shoving him. I think that was his thing. But
I love that.
I mean, now we can talk to somebody who knows, right?
Exactly.
Who knows the playbook.
Sean
like
Z worked at End Zone from 2001 to 2003.
All the stories.
Yeah.
They need to get some pubs in that area if they can. That's the thing missing from going to an Elks game. Sorry, an Elks game. Like I know they have the tailgate, but even having the pub area,
They're trying to
that's-
push the tailgating though, aren't they?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
they
It
are.
really
But
is good.
like either there are those that maybe don't want to go tailgate, and
Fair.
the other option of just going to go sit and have a drink inside a place. Like they have those new condos that are being built on
Yep.
the east side of it, and there's some podium space
Yep.
for businesses there. If that could turn into a couple of restaurants or something, you can go grab a bite, like a full bite to eat,
Yeah.
and before a game.
That's a
like the
5-minute walk.
Ottawa area. The Ottawa area apparently is like
It's
that.
great,
It's
yeah.
brewery areas, like they've got some breweries, they got restaurants, and then you got the game and stuff like that. If you can add, you have tailgate on one side, you have some restaurants, bars on the other, all before a game. It's a full game day experience, I think. Then at that
Yeah.
point,
Yeah,
And you
you'd
can
have
go
to
to church house.
You'd have to definitely clean it up, that area up a little bit.
They are.
They're trying. for
North
sure.
side, a
Yeah.
little bit tough, but south east side, yeah, there's the condos, like you said. Hopefully they do get some going in there.
You got to call it the end zone. I mean, you'd want to bring that back, I would think, right? Or play on it
Makes
somehow.
sense.
we
Yeah.
did say that was actually something we wanted to do once. I don't know if Murray's here or not. We said we were going to do Shanks and then do the end zone.
Really?
Now we can't do Shanks. We might have to launch the end zone instead.
Maybe a pop-up.
Presented by EST.
Yeah.
Pop-up end zone pub.
Thanks for
Oh
the
my
memories.
god! How does no one in the tailgate have not like the end zone tailgate?
Yeah.
Like get the
Just
sign,
brand
put it
a
on their
couple
tent.
tents,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
brand it to end zone and just be the
Well,
end.
shit,
Like,
maybe
oh,
we
we've got
should.
the end zone back. It's in the tailgate.
Yeah, like I already got my idea. If I decide to tailgate, it's gonna be the boom boom room.
Go on.
Huh? There you go.
Hey, what happens in the boom boom room
Marketing genius.
stays in the boom boom room.
Yeah, it's a boom boom room.
Market your tailgate spot as as different things. You got the podcast ones, obviously, like Turf District and Elks Herd and stuff.
Yeah, they're
but
there.
now for everyone else, like you got to market yourself. Why should I come to you on the end zone pub? Perfect.
Man, a couple of tents, pop-up tents, but like branding at the back wall that looks like the end zone.
Boom boom room. Like
Boom, boom room.
I'm going
my
there.
God.
That's an idea.
Ezzy's.
Ezzy's.
All right. All right.
Oh,
You know,
boy.
I'm surprised you haven't bought
Alrighty.
that trademark
The
yet.
Ezzy's one?
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of guys, like someone reached out, like you should do all these old bars, right? So it was like Purple Onion was on there
Yeah.
too, right? Wouldn't be a bad line of kind of old institutions.
Yeah,
Berry
no,
teas.
exactly.
You know?
I never experienced Berry teas. I think we're too young.
Cowboys.
Cowboys for sure.
Berry teas. I was there like I think the night it closed. Yeah.
I remember when it was standard. That was a good spot.
I think I'm pretty sure every hockey player in the city entered Cowboys on a Thursday and Ezzy's on a Tuesday.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dollar draft,
When they were
25
ripping
cent
down
draft.
Cowboys, not that far from here, like it had a fence up in it because we used to go there Thursdays for a
Yeah.
25-cent draft. Like it was an institution. Everybody like
It was disgusting, but
it was
yes.
disgusting, but you
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
So they had it kind of ripped down, but it was still sort of standing. And then I think we were at a Donaire spot, a couple beers. Then afterwards, we drove over there, and I actually like went in and like walked over all the rubbish and took like they had this fake kind of brick, and I took that
Oh.
off the wall. And we framed it and gave it to a buddy because he actually met his like wife there. So it was a nice little
nice.
story. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could have like collapsed on me at any point, and I probably could have stepped on something. Like and this was not 4 PM. It was probably like 2 AM or something. But it was R.I.P. Cowboys.
I've got 3 texts that I need to get to.
Okay.
Tommy, Homer absolutely used to do that. I have vivid memories of that. Tommy, you were right. Homer would totally take his legs inside the baseball and do a little shimmy.
Thank you.
Tommy, you're
memory,
right. I
Tommy.
remember Homer shaking. It was hilarious.
Yes, thank you.
There you go.
Good memory,
Okay.
Tommy. Not a boy.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm not crazy. Well, to an extent.
So there you go.
I
Now we gotta
appreciate
get
that.
that
people
footage
respecting
somewhere.
you.
Maybe
Yeah.
somebody's got it.
I feel like I remember, and it was funny. I'd always laugh. Like I'd be like, "Oh, Homer, you're the best."
6-year-old Tommy saying that.
Just ice cream all over.
It's you. You've done it again.
I was like, "My kid's an idiot."
Oh,
things.
man.
It's the little things.
Oh God, that's so funny. I was gonna say, yeah, you're right, but like, standard was awesome after Berry Teas, Iron
The ice
Hose.
bar there. Was nice.
Yes, the ice bar that was cool. They had nice waitresses.
Oh, jeez.
I had the hugest crushes on them. Anyway, whatever.
It's just funny that you're the one of the 4 people here mentioning that.
Shocking, right?
Shocking.
But, I mean, it was good back in the day. Like every bar had a night. So
Yes.
it didn't matter. Like if there was a Tuesday, it was like, well, I'm going to Ezzy's on Tuesday, right? Like Thursday was Cowboys. Like, we need to get back to those nights where everybody goes in one place, and it's so if someone's rolling from out of town and like, hey, let's go out a bit on a Tuesday, and you're like, well, I don't usually do that, but let's go. And you know the spot. Now, I mean, I'm too old, I guess, but I don't know if there are these spots, and if people know what they are. I'd
If
like
you're
to know, just to
younger, like fresh out of high school, I believe like Beercade is,
But they're all
is
the
known
same.
for that.
Like Greta.
Then it goes to like, I think then you get a little bit older. I feel like Pints, the
Greta.
Gretas. What it was Central.
Central's
kind of
still there.
becomes
Actually,
there.
Central's food is very good.
And then I think this, like, I don't know if like, I don't know if there's a lot of nightclubs though anymore.
No.
Remember
I
Rum
don't think there's
Jungle?
Rum
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
nightclubs anymore.
Well, the
That's
mall used to be
completely
like
changed.
6 nightclubs.
Yeah.
Like
There was Tonic. There was what
Juice.
was the Juice Ultra Lounge,
Nashville's.
Nashville's Electric Roadhouse,
Well, there was the Crush
Joint.
Ultra Lounge that was just over here.
Crush
used to be,
Ultra Lounge. Yeah.
but I don't think there's true
No.
nightclubs really anymore.
Where you had to like not wear sneakers, you had to wear dress
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah, dress shoes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you're not
There
getting
was
those
a
shoes
couple
today.
a few years ago. Privé was one a couple years back.
Oh,
but
Yeah.
that went downhill
Yeah,
pretty
I've been
quick.
there.
I lived
didn't it?
across the street from Privé.
Oh, did you?
And I'd be like out somewhere else and I'd look over, I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. I can't go in there.
Yeah.
Malibu would have been a good one.
Jay
The
used to work
the
at
Iron
Malibu.
Horse. Really?
Yeah.
The original Malibu or the one that went to
The morgue? That was downtown.
Oh, the Morgue.
The morgue turned into the Globe.
Yeah, I remember Globe.
was-
and then
Globe
it
was
was Rock
great.
Stars.
Globe was like tons of fights all the time.
Is that not?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that where not they built all those condos on Jasper?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Remember the bank, which is now Furniture Warehouse?
Also, yeah, that was an
I like
interesting
Furniture
spot.
Warehouse though.
And then there's the tried and trues of them, like On the Rocks is still there, right?
Yes.
Like,
TR, yeah,
but
still
there,
kicking, yeah.
but I think in the end, like there isn't. To your point, I don't think there's everyone exactly knows where to go. Actually, you want to know that Mercer's was becoming that. I think Mercer's was that place where a lot of people are like, where are we going downtown? We're going to Mercer's. Or if we're going other places, we're coming back to Mercer's, or we're starting at Mercer's.
Yeah.
Mercer's was the central point.
Well, I think,
And then they sold and they became Home and Away. And I
Very generic.
it's not the same.
No.
Lost. I don't like the way they designed the bar inside. It's not as welcoming. Mercer was the spot, I feel like.
And it was open, right? Like you remind me, like in Chicago, they have the Cubby Bar right across from Wrigley. And it's just that. It's an old, like kind of warehouse, open space during a game. Everyone goes there.
Yes.
Right? And that's kind of what that spot in my mind should be, right?
And the dance floor is there by the windows that open up, and you'd kind of look and you'd be like, I wonder what's out there today. And you're like, I might have to stop in.
In fact, the old place that we're at, when Rogers Place was just opening, Virgin Radio was trying to find bars downtown to be like create a deal with, to be like, if there's concerts in town, we'll broadcast from there and all of that. And Mercer, like they went to Mercer and they wanted money as Virgin Radio. And Mercer's like, we don't need your money. We're doing just fine. Like we'll let you broadcast from here for free if you want the exposure, but we're good enough that okay, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah. That place
and our people were like stunned by that. And it's like, well, no, Mercer's like this top place that is going to get all the traffic from that place. Yeah. So we probably should be there and get no money for it, but we didn't do that and we dropped the ball. And
interesting.
Yeah,
it is.
No wonder TSN.
It's kind of disappointing though that there's like no like legitimate clubs anymore. Because I feel like it's what the kids get now. It's just the same thing, just spun a little differently. But like this Nasty Chat's going, and it's like there's so many different. There were so many different spots with so many different memories, and it's like that was fun. Here's the Cowboys 25-cent draft. Can you imagine 25-cent draft? Like again, like if you had to rewind, like that was absolutely
that was a legalization thing.
Look out.
It's crazy, yeah. But then it was like Ezzy's, and I still remember a story from Ezzy's and Iron Horse. Every single weekend, there was something going on there. You had Malibu.
Oh, dude.
Right? Like it was crazy.
And pubs aren't clubs. Like they're different things. I mean, I remember Ezzy, I think they had the Grey Cup, whatever year it was. I think we were drinking Black Label out of the Grey Cup. Like it was amazing. Jay-Z was at Ezzy's one time.
What?
I think it was like him and Memphis Bleak. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We came in there with a couple
Hall.
girls and they didn't leave with us. They left with the I don't know. I'm not putting stories out there, but they went over to where those guys were.
Yeah.
And then you didn't see them ever again.
They never saw them ever again.
Yeah.
But no, it was a play. I mean, you talk about the Globe, and that's actually where I met my wife. Is the bar got pepper sprayed, and they all had to leave the bar. And my buddy was seeing her friend, and I came with, and she ran right out of the pepper spray into my arms.
Wow.
And that's the love story of Edmonton bar scene right there. Yeah. Been together ever since.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
I
it's
think
pretty
so.
touching. Yeah, it's very touching. Yeah.
I think I know where you're going with this, though. It's EST needs to launch a nightclub.
I've already given you
You're
a
the
name.
bouncer.
I've already given you a name.
I'll be the bouncer. Anything's
If you
happening,
guys
I'm
want
just
to
running
lose some
away.
money, just blow this whole thing up. I didn't get it started.
We got nothing going on from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. the next day.
point.
There you go.
We'll turn this into a mini nightclub.
It used to be a metal bar, apparently.
Yeah. We'll get it going again. We'll make it
is
This
this.
bar?
building, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole thing was.
It was called the Mead Hall, apparently.
No way.
Yeah,
Really?
Yes.
It got shut down for drugs like multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
And that's why, like,
Shocked.
this place is
What a name.
this place is renovated very poorly. And that's why, because they created an office space after it was Mead Hall. And there's a lot of people that are from the music scene that remember Mead Hall. And when we've mentioned this is Mead Hall, they go, that's Mead Hall. Or we've had people come like, this place is familiar.
Yeah.
And then we say Mead Hall, and they're like, oh. So we
Look a little different here.
we'll just bring this place back to its roots in a sense,
Mead
but we'll
Hall.
modernize it and make we'll be Edmonton's nightclub.
Yeah. The
EST After Dark.
I like it.
Well, why have that dead time, I guess? Right?
EST
To your
Noir.
point, like,
Exactly.
generate
Yes,
some revenue
that's what
on
we
that.
need to
Yeah.
get.
We're
Go on.
paying for heat and electricity in that time still too.
Yeah.
Maximize.
I like the EST Noir.
Noir,
That'd be
yeah.
good.
The house band at the Mead Hall, apparently, I had to look this up and I found some images. They're called Dead Jesus. And they would do blood shows like Guar. And I was like, you
like
gotta
Guar
be
stuff.
kidding me.
In
And
the pit? Oh.
Yeah, and there's pictures of like, it was goth and heavy metal, obviously. And like there's pictures of the blood show and like girls in goth look and then just like covered in fake blood. And you're like, oh my God. Lovely. That was all
based
here.
off going to some of these rock shows. I'm not shocked by that either. Like, went to Metallica. Metallica was great, but there was other bands before them.
But
Wow,
Did Dead Jesus play?
aggressive.
It's a great name.
Pantera.
Pantera. My heart still beats. Man, were they aggressive.
Okay, we've unlocked and tapped into some amazing memories here. May I?
Go for it.
Alicia.
Absolutely.
O'Byrne's on White is also super popular for fresh 18s. I heard
Okay.
that that's had a renaissance. Yes.
Okay.
Remember Squires right across the street?
Do I?
Squires, Billiard
Billiard
Club,
Wednesday Squires.
Yes.
Cheap wing night, cheap beer night, pretty sure.
Oil City.
Oil City. Oh, God.
They used to do Bear Thursday nights there.
At Oil
I think
City,
it was
Oil City.
Danae and Fearless Fred for a while. Then it was Danae and McCord. What did they call it? There was a name for it. I remember what they called it off the air.
I would say Oil City was kind of the first sort of big bar downtown.
Yeah.
And that started to bring people downtown to party. And then things started
I'm
opening
stunned that it
afterwards.
never reopened. Like that building is still closed.
There's
And then
some
upstairs,
NHL teams.
vinyl.
Vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah. NHL teams would go there, and I saw one guy, a buddy of mine. He's like, "Hey, what's that bar in the city that all the NHL teams go to? Oil." Psh. And he carried on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's exactly what it is.
Teddy Peckman and I had
Yeah.
a night there once. And I was like, what am I doing?
Oh,
This is
Wreck 'em
not
Peck 'em.
good. Yeah.
I think that's where like Hall and that Oilers group partied.
I think
Until
Cogliano
we
and-
told
Pines
him,
and
until we
Linton.
told him to go to the billiard club,
Okay.
because it's like, why are you going there? That place
Oh.
kind of
Love B Club.
just sucks.
There was one bartender, I can't remember his name, but he was a little bit shorter and he always wore a cowboy hat. And every time we'd get like, there'd be like a group of us, we'd be like, like 12 whatever, rum and cokes or Ryan cokes. And he would pour them and then we'd pay him and then he would throw like napkins in the air. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. I
But
do
he was
remember
great.
that.
I was
I
like,
do
who
remember
is
that.
this guy? Yeah. But then you'd always try to go to like the one at the bar at the front, but like all the guys would go there because the best looking girls were working that bar. And it's like, oh, I'm never gonna get a drink there. So you go to the guy and he'd be like, what do you guys having? And then just throw these napkins. Like, this guy's the
I
best.
love that. I do remember that.
Yeah. So good. I'm not crazy again. Like the Homer
Not vividly,
thing.
but I remember it. Yeah.
This one says, life was never better when the Purple Onion was open.
P.O.
And I know Tony from BP Westgate used to work at the Purple Onion. He was like, oh yeah, we had the worst bathrooms and like, but it was always packed. I'd never had a chance to go. So, yeah. Anyway, there's some good memories coming in. Filthy McNasties popped in here from Beaumont Dusty. Never got there.
I went to Ezzy's.
wow.
I only went to Ezzy's once, and that was enough for me. And I went with George's LaRock.
Yeah.
And LaRock, he would always he'd bring a bunch of guys, but he'd do water shots, and he'd be like, "We're going," like all four of us and him would go.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "We're doing shots today, boys." Okay. He's like, "I'll go first," and he'd line up 10 water shots and bang, hammer them all out. I found this out after, obviously, and then he'd be like, "Okay, you're doing 10 sourpuss in a row,"
Oh,
and then he'd
That's just
hand you a
cruel.
drink,
Yeah,
and
that's
so then I remember we got absolutely destroyed, and then our limo came to pick us up. And the limo crashed going into the last recollection I had of that night. It crashed coming into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's an 8-man, but we packed 20 people in it.
Oh my goodness. So you guys would just like basically scoop more girls up everywhere you went.
Well, there was we had a 3-on-3 charity tournament that weekend.
Yeah.
And that was our team builder. So all the rest of the guys ended up meeting us there. So like Boychuk, Horkoff, Pisani, we had an NHL team going.
Yeah.
And then, yes, there was other people that joined the party
Oh,
after.
just people.
But it was like everybody was so drunk because George just tricked guys. Like by the end of it, we probably all had like 20, 25 shots plus other drinks. And it's like, okay, well, this night's over. And then he'd go home and, laugh and try to sing karaoke with guys that are mangled. And
oh, what a dirty move.
just so gutless.
that's great.
He's a smart one to a degree.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the issues the next day.
Yeah,
He
but
gets to
it's
watch you
but
guys
it's
all.
so gutless.
It is.
Yeah.
It's greasy.
Yeah.
I'll let you call it gutless. I ain't calling George out for anything.
I'm calling George out all the time.
Atif used to go to Thunderdome, which became Tonic, which became Union Hall.
Yes.
Correct.
Union.
That was
okay.
Goose Looney's back
Yeah.
in the day, the legendary Goose Looney's.
And now Union is a concert venue.
Yeah.
which is wild. It's a good concert venue too, actually.
Actually, it's a neat building.
It's a good spot to go see a concert at.
Good donair place right around the corner. Guy I played hockey with loved donairs, but he would go mid-bar to the donair, the Queen donair that used to be there.
Mid-bar?
Mid-bar.
Oh, yeah.
He'd get a stamp. He'd go have one. And then one time he got 2 jumbos. And we're like, hey, Vicky, like, where'd you go? He's like, I just went and had a donair. And then like he's like, and I got one for later. And like he rolled up his sleeve and he had a jumbo in his sleeve. We're like, oh my, he got pretty big.
2 jumbos.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I like that idea, like maybe
aggressive.
while like just dancing and
We're like,
just jumping in, trying to just sneak bites in
Yeah,
everywhere.
bites, yeah.
Brings it in. We're like, how did you get in with that? He's like, don't worry about it. Okay.
I'll throw Armory into that mix too. I do
Armory?
love
Oh, yeah.
Armory with some good times.
The Armory is, isn't that place haunted?
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's old.
Yeah.
It is old.
Super old.
You believe in that stuff? That's a yes. Hotel Mac was supposed to be haunted.
There's some weird stuff that happens
Yeah.
out there.
Can't
There's some
explain
weird
them.
stuff. Yep.
You should listen to Coast Radio.
Don't need that in my. I don't need that in my life.
Do you know Coast to Coast?
No.
Oh,
I
it's-
want to know.
Is that the alien one?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great to listen to every so often because it's just so wild.
the alien stuff? I'm like,
It's not just aliens, it's all the conspiracy. You don't believe there's aliens?
I don't know.
There's like billions
Roswell?
of stars.
What about Roswell? Every time I hear those stories, I was actually
Roswell, New
watching the old
Mexico.
Unsolved Mysteries with the Roswell. I'm like, I think I'm sold.
Yeah.
I think I'm sold on this one still.
There's some weird stuff out there.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't, like, I find it hard to believe that we're the only life in this grand universe. There's got to be life
deep,
somewhere else.
yeah.
are we going down this road in the hangout today?
I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's not like there's no other game days today.
Like, okay, like let's do it, man.
It's just like we're the most intelligent beings in the entire universe. That's one, scary.
Yeah.
But two, like there's not one other somewhere else.
Just living in a simulation. Like the Matrix.
Oh, I keep saying simulation. What was it last week? Jay was like, "There's a higher or whatever, like for his
higher
thing," and I kept
power,
going
yeah.
simulation.
Yeah. Hit the reset button.
Somebody's controlling it. No, I think that I believe that and whether they've ever come here or not is a different question. But the idea that there is life somewhere else, I do believe that.
I've been watching a lot of Ancient Aliens, and I'm just like, oh boy, I like this show.
I've never
Good
watched
stuff.
Giorgio Tsoukalis, the guy with the crazy hair. And
I've never watched it.
the
I haven't seen
teeth.
that. No.
He's great. He's great. I'm like, how do you not believe this guy? And he dresses like Indiana Jones, but like a Greek version.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's great. Always has like the satchel.
that's good.
It's on History Channel. I
Yeah.
love History Channel and Smithsonian.
Like I said, I would
Which
start
isn't
getting into
really-
the Unsolved Mysteries. I think there's about 20 something seasons, but
They did a couple new
they
seasons
got
on
some new
Netflix.
ones. Yeah, they got some new ones.
Pretty
Yeah.
creepy.
I like going with the old school with their guy Robert Stack, though. Right?
Yeah.
That's legit. But
His voice used to scare me.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, he's scary dude.
Yeah.
And he's got the smoke coming behind him in the trench coat. The whole thing's
that'd be
Just
well,
makes
it's
it
well
so
done.
eerie.
It's well
Yeah.
done.
Like, what's happening at Area 51, Belsey? What's happening?
Will Smith is rolling with an alien.
Welcome to
sucker
Earth.
punching it.
Did you say sucker punching it?
Sucker punching it.
How's that a sucker punch?
He sucker punched it.
They were face to face.
Face to face. He threw without notice. That thing got sucker punched.
The thing was like tentacles all over the place. I think it was sending.
Maybe he
might
was
have
just
been a
trying to
notice.
stand up and be like, hey, man, what's up, dude? And Will just suckered him. Knocked him right out, put him in
No.
the back of the truck,
Didn't see it coming.
kidnapped him.
This move.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. Put him
No.
in a glass case.
Well, there was no sucker punch. They were eye
Flat
to eye.
out sucker punch.
He wasn't prepared for it. That's his fault. The alien's fault for not being prepared.
Technically, they weren't eye to eye because if this guy was trying to stand, he was going to be tower over Will. But Will, when the guy was on his knees, decided to throw a right, heavy right too, by the way.
Why are you pro anti-humans? Like, the aliens are trying to destroy the Earth, and why are you pro them and not pro Will Smith, who saved? Which one of the reasons the Earth is still here today?
Oh, I love Will Smith, but I'm still saying he sucker
He
punched the
did
guy,
not sucker punch a guy.
and then he jacked their friggin' spaceship.
Yeah, they were trying to kill him.
There was a lot of criminal
Gotta do
activity
what
in
you
that
gotta
game.
do.
In that movie.
I haven't watched that one in a long time.
Great movie though.
It was.
It's like
That was always
it's a
fun one.
good lazy Sunday movie.
Part
Yes.
2 sucked.
Never watched, but you need Will Smith for a part 2.
Yeah, they made his son like one of the fighter pilots.
Yeah.
It was not good.
When you're gonna do, like, you have to have the people come back,
They had Goldblum.
or there's got to be. I know they had him, but
Did you like that part though, where it's like now this is his son and he's kind of like the guy? Like to me, that's like,
In part 2?
yeah.
No.
Nah.
It made sense to like tie it together. And they got some of the old characters too, but it was just like, oh, it was too far gone. Like it was a weird story.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Also, you talking about rolling with George at the bar and him doing water shots. He said, this text comes in and says, George was always so good to the bar staff,
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great with them. Yeah.
but not to his friends.
But not to his friends.
Not just
And then this one
Tried to
says,
bury his friends.
Tommy seems like a rum jungle guy. Yes, I was.
a rum jungle guy.
I loved what the girls
The
on the
swings,
swings
yeah.
and then the steps and
That was
it was
great.
It was
Oh, man.
awesome. That dance floor at the bottom of the steps. Yeah. Yeah, I would go there.
Rum?
Rum, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, I don't know if they're coming back to the mall anytime soon, all those bars.
No, I
No.
don't think so.
It was a moment in time. He experienced it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it was great.
You get kicked out of one, you go to the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very sanitized mall nowadays.
Very much.
Bourbon Street.
Bourbon
Not
Street.
Bourbon Street as it once was.
Yeah.
The official drink of the EST Hangout, since we're discussing this. It is the Finnish long drink, legend in 1952. They don't have.
No, I know that. I
Yeah.
know they had to change
So
it. Yeah,
Bourbon
yeah.
Street.
Yeah,
Drink unlike any other sparkling refreshment, real liquor, longdrink.com/Canada is where you can go to enter your post to go to find a liquor store nearest you with the Finnish long drink. Maybe a perfect drink for tonight while you're watching the Edmonton Oilers take on the Minnesota Wild. 6:30 puck drop, which means 5:30 GCLD's Oilstream pregame show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's Tommy, it's Hernan, I believe it's Belzy. They will get you set for that game later today as the Oilers will look to begin. How long is this road trip again? 2 games? 3 games?
Yeah.
3 games.
Tomorrow
Back
in
on the road.
Colorado, Saturday in
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
And then
It's a
home
tough little
for
Mhm.
5 in January. How far does it go? 6 straight after that.
Yeah.
Because Toronto comes to town. Naturally, it's a 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah.
As one does.
Anyone have a worry for the Wild tonight?
Yeah. 'Cause the
You
Oilers in Minnesota are not good.
Yes, that's true.
It's very
This
true.
may or may not be one of the game changers today.
Ah. Don't give away
Ooh.
everything.
So I said may or may not. It might not be.
It might not
Okay.
be. I might change it up last minute.
All right.
But yeah, they've been historically bad in Minnesota. So
Why do you think that is? Like, I mean, the Wild have always kind of played a different sort of style, right?
yeah,
It was always kind of the worst game to go to at home for
Oh,
a lot of years,
100%.
right?
Oh, the Jacques
Right?
Lemaire
And you
years
show up
where
a
you're
little
like,
bit-
I
show up a
think
little
it'll
bit
be
late
fun.
and they're already up 1-0 or something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is
and
going
then
to be
it's
a
just
waste.
full on trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, great times.
There's just sometimes you have those numbers of the teams. The Oilers, for whatever reason, have Nashville's number and the LA Kings.
Yep.
Even as like
but
coaches change and players,
it just sticks for a little bit.
Could be just
And-
like the rink too, like the way that the rink is. Like I remember there's rinks like couldn't stand playing
Yeah.
in, and every single year, despite whether the team was good or bad, I had the worst nights in that rink.
Is it just
Which
bad
ones?
vibes? Like, is it
It's
just
bad
kind of
vibes,
like you
yeah.
land there, it
Yeah.
sucks, and
That's it. Literally could be that. Like
Maybe, yeah.
Seattle when they played at Key Arena,
Oh, the Thunderbirds?
just hated it because they had this black curtain on the one side,
Mhm.
and so it just made it feel so dead. San Antonio was
I remember
awful.
San Antonio.
Ottawa, awful.
Like Canadian Tire Center?
Yep. Didn't like it because it
Yeah.
was dark.
Yeah. That rink
Those are the
is
3
not aged
rinks
well.
for me where I'm just like, meh.
really.
But Mini, I mean, you played there.
Mini was great.
That's a
But
beautiful
I'm trying to
arena.
give like ideas as to why, like, because this has been a long time. What's it been 20 years now?
Totally.
Do you have numbers?
I have
All right,
all
what's
the
their
numbers.
record?
18, 27, and 6 with 1 tie all time at XL Energy Center. Minnesota's won 1. Edmonton won the last one there. They kicked the crap out of Minnesota.
but they had
back on
lost a
December
few
12th.
straight.
They had lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight prior to that, and 7 of the last 8. And then there was that stretch between like 2007 to like 2014 where Edmonton won, I think, like 2 or 3 games there. Yeah. They lost like 12 or 13 in a row. In Mini.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Remember Tom Rennie getting mad at us when we asked him about it in 2011?
Terrific.
Yes. And he's like, don't ask about that. Enough of that. I wasn't here. I don't know why we
Yeah,
always
I don't
lose
know. I
here.
don't know. It's
Like,
got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, like, I'm
Go in a
sorry.
hockey
Who else am I
game.
going to ask?
Go in a
Who
hockey
am I going to ask?
It's like Chris Jones never liked being asked about the home losing streak. I was like, well, go win a football game.
Yeah.
Go win one at home and we won't ask you this question
Yeah.
anymore. New season's about to start. Like, that's kind of a big deal. And, like, you get all pissy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's actually there, like coaching. Like he's actually a part of it. It's a pretty legit question.
He contributed a lot to that streak.
A lot to that.
Actually,
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
It was a decent streak before him.
Well, okay. So he took over again in what, 2022?
Yeah.
So
So he got mad after, like, I asked him in training camp at 23. He got mad at me when I asked him about it to start the season. And now
it
he
went to what,
contributed
22,
a full
23
season.
games? Yeah.
Something like that.
You get 9 of those every, like he went.
He lost 9 straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the fans cared. And the fans
Of
cared about that
course.
other one. But just go win a hockey game. Go win a football game.
Wow.
People stop caring. That's simple.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Don't dodge it.
That's the thing. Don't embrace it.
No. Don't guarantee a home win on opening night.
Oof.
That didn't go well.
No.
No.
That.
No, the free tickets.
Yeah.
Or the tickets are free, right?
Yeah.
It was the tickets were free.
Until they win.
Yeah.
And now, so it was
the
a
Victor
specific
did?
number of tickets. It was Victor. There's
Yeah.
a specific number of tickets you had to buy in a certain sections. And if they won, you got a free ticket to the next game.
Yeah.
And it keeps going free
Until
tickets
they win. Yeah.
until they won.
Yeah.
And then they eventually did win.
That's tough.
I mean,
Like-
it's a bold move. Like,
Well,
you know, you got to have something to kind of do that, or I don't know. I mean, like, get out there.
It's a
and make the
really,
declaration. Like,
really bold strategy because, like, it's a double-edged sword. You're giving away free tickets, but as you continue to lose, people aren't showing up.
and the only people showing up now are getting free tickets.
Yeah.
They're not even
If
paying
they
anymore.
decide to, like, yeah, okay.
yeah,
I also couldn't imagine how the players would feel about that promotion. Like, oh yeah, there's going to be some people that are going to be happy if we lose because they get a free ticket to the next game.
yeah, there's guys cheering for it.
Like, are they going to be like, well, just keep losing? Like,
Yeah, and
It's
don't
like-
quote me on this, but I think even the free tickets, like, there's still a ticket tax that the city and Commonwealth, which, like, so they're not entirely free for the organization.
they
So
had,
they're
You're
eating
still,
it.
you're still eating that.
they're eating that, yeah,
Yeah,
the venue costs or whatever that is.
yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah. I'm cool on that, but I'm pretty sure
I-
that's the case too.
I
right?
look forward to probably, we're still quite a few years away for like the full book to be written on Victor Quee's tenure. There are some
You-
stories to come out.
Well, you were with the Stingers. You guys did some cross promotion with them, right? I don't know how much you want to dive into that, but
we basically just kind of like, we gave them some tickets to get some players to the game. Like, G-Roy loved coming, right? He loved coming to the games, a bunch of other guys. And then we'd go to their games too, right? So it was that thing. But yeah, we did for a little while have a similar sort of while there was like this ticket tax from a venue thing. And I don't know if that's, I mean, the Oilers got their own kind of deal and Riverhawks got their own kind of deal, but I always thought that was a little bit weird. Like, if you want to give tickets out to the community and get kids there who maybe don't have that opportunity, you know, and you're gonna eat that cost.
yeah.
I don't think there should be a ticket tax on that, but
Right.
that's
Yeah.
sort of my take on it, right?
And you
Yeah.
guys had the smallest venue out of all the 4 teams,
Yeah,
right? Like, because it's like just under 5,000 somewhere. around.
yeah. It was just under 5. Depending, you could open up a couple of bleachers and get pretty
Right.
close to that, right? But yeah, and I think that's kind of, I don't know where that model came from, but it seemed like it was almost like a standard thing that there was this ticket tax. And it's like, there's a little bit of Ticketmaster fees. I maybe get that part of it,
Yeah.
but if it's like on top of that, I never really understood that.
That was an interesting time. Under your tenure, the Expo Center, or what is it called? Flair Airlines.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it even
I don't think it
still
is the Flair Airlines.
No.
Yeah.
But it's nice now.
I don't think
Like,
it was
you go
this
in
past
there
year.
and it's nice. Like the lighting's good.
Yeah.
The seats are nice, and
Yeah, I remember the old.
it's way better than the red seats in the
I don't know if I ever got a couple of the old seats
okay.
because I have got the orange ones from like Commonwealth, obviously like
Yeah.
the ones from Rexall. I don't know if I got any Expo ones kicking around. We did put one on top of like a wooden stand, and that was the shoe shine place because you got
Oh,
free
right.
shoe shines and everything,
Yeah.
and clean your sneakers. So yeah, there's one sitting in there, which is it's pretty cool. But the plans I saw originally to even do that more, like to put suites in it, change the entrance to come the other way, is pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know where that's at now, but yeah, it's a great venue, man.
Expo Center is actually pretty useful and nice.
Yeah.
Like the whole facility.
It gets a lot of work.
Yeah.
It gets a lot of stuff rolling through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't remember, do they run Conference Center? Does Conference Center run them now? There was a change at one
Explore
point.
Edmonton that runs both the convention
So it's
center
both now.
and Expo. Yeah.
Because at one point it was separate and one overtook the other. like 10 years ago or something like that.
Yeah. I think when they kind of changed things to put it all under
because one was losing money,
they run those.
and I just can't remember which way it went. I haven't been in the conference center in a while.
I was there
Like for
recently.
we were there for
Alzheimer's
the
luncheon was good.
We were there for the Elks dinner.
Elks dinner was awesome.
Yeah.
That
I've
was
been to
great.
like
Yeah,
a concert
it's
there or
good
something
spot.
like
They do a
that.
lot of good stuff there.
Yeah. They refreshed it. I heard it was in rough shape after COVID.
Oh yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah.
Don't they used to have concerts there, didn't they?
and that's
I
where
saw
it's
the
still do?
Killers there.
for the
It's like
Howler. used to
Coldplay
be.
was there.
That's the
Coldplay,
one.
Yeah.
That's the one everyone talks about. It was
Yeah, man.
back in like the early 2000s, 1 or 2 albums in, small intimate show of their best stuff. Anyone that was there just loves it.
It was killer. I think like J. Cole was there one time, but I missed that show, which right when he's kind of coming up, which would be killer.
Yeah.
It's like Queens of the Stone Age there.
Mother, Greta Van Fleet, the
Ooh.
Halloween Howler was
They were always great there.
Oh,
Now
man.
they do some at Expo
Yeah.
still. Like I think they got like the Beach Boys coming up, and yeah, they'll throw in the
Beach
Wiggles.
Boys.
The Wiggles always
So
get a few shows.
I heard the
Yeah.
Wiggles are quite
Yeah,
popular.
They're a big deal.
He's going.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed.
We're not in the Wiggles yet.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
He's not
What
there
is
yet.
it?
I have no idea.
No, what
Not
like what are you, anything? Any
that.
TV show?
Daniel Tiger.
I never
Oh
heard of that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tiger's
Oh,
pretty
God.
good. Oh, that's taking me
Oh,
back.
my
Oh,
God.
that's taking the Daniel Tiger.
Daniel Tiger,
Yeah.
everything.
I do have a little bit of
Get outta
hockey
here.
news.
Okay, hockey news.
That I will need to get to. This is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. We got Reed Clarke from Sport Edmonton here. Shawn Belle, Tom Gazzola and Matt Iwanyk with you here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Clear choice for Edmonton Sports live on TuneIn, iHeart, YouTube, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as for those thanks to listening on the podcast. The Pittsburgh Penguins announced that goalie Tristan Jarry will be placed on waivers today at noon.
Whoa.
TSN announces says open for more. I will open for more.
And they just
Oh,
gave
nothing happens.
Tristan like
He's
a
even-
5-year deal a year or two ago.
Ooh.
29-year-old this season, 886 save percentage, 3.32 goals allowed average in 21 games, 8-7-4 record. He led the NHL with 6 shutouts and a 903 and a 291 goals allowed average last season. More to come. Well, I opened that for not much
last
more to come.
season, really?
That was last season. He had 6
6
shutouts. That was the league lead. Obviously, the other stuff were not the league leaders. But Tristan Jarry now on waivers. Oilers? You know that's coming.
No, they wouldn't.
100% it's coming.
100%.
Tristan does still have a home in the Edmonton area. I believe is
Where's he from?
he's from BC, but he's from Surrey. But I think his girlfriend is from here, and,
Okay.
and I think I was talking to
Yeah,
Rogan.
he's not coming.
No,
So
not,
just
not
look.
to the
Can we
Oilers.
just squash that like right now?
Well,
5.3
Before anybody asks.
5.38
Try.
million, and he's still got 4 years left on his deal.
Yes.
so
That's-
you trade Calvin Pickard
Don't.
Oh my god.
and you throw it.
Don't.
That's his old teammate. Don't say that.
Well, you can't have 3 goalies on the team.
Oh,
You're not trading away Stuart Skinner. So you trade
Sorry,
Tristan Jarry for Calvin Pickard and a pick, but money
Jeff
retained
Skinner.
by
And
the
Jeff Skinner.
and Jeff Skinner
Yeah.
for money
Write
retained
it up.
by the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Now we're talking.
And your
And this deal
backup
gets
is going to
done.
make 5.38. And
well,
your
but Pittsburgh's
starter.
paying half of it.
Oh, okay.
Because you're
Ooh,
getting
that-
them to retain, of course.
Yeah,
So
well, they're
you're
gonna
getting them
retain.
to
Well, that's why
retain
you're giving a pick.
50%.
That's why you're
of
giving a
course.
pick. So it's Pickard and a
Holy-
pick
What a terrible deal for
plus Jeff
Pittsburgh.
Skinner. And then, well, maybe Pittsburgh only has to, because if Jeff Skinner's in this deal, Pittsburgh only has to retain 25%.
That's a bad deal for
Now,
Pittsburgh.
you
Skinner,
should write it up. You guys should just say when
Jarry.
you write it up and you should fax it to the Oilers. Right?
I'm on it.
I've already
I'm
got
on
it.
it.
You can do it on the proper like letterhead for
I'll
the
pick-
NHL. Like it's all done. All you gotta do
That's-
is
This is the deal.
you gotta
We just
fax
need to
this into
get.
the
We just need to
office.
get Jeff Skinner to waive, and let
So,
me
like-
have like 5 minutes with him, and I'll convince him.
Perfect.
So you're going to give up a first.
No, when they found I've dropped it down 25%. They're not getting a first for that.
Okay, so you're going to go Pickard,
Yeah,
Skinner.
yeah. After
pick.
I get him to move,
Jay
pick.
Skinner.
and I pay like a fourth, third.
Oof, you're not getting that. So for them to retain salary,
Why
you
did they
have to
getting
give
Calvin
them-
Pickard and they're getting Jeff Skinner?
Come on, man.
Why wouldn't they want that?
Come on, man.
Can turn around this
They would
season.
love Jeff Skinner.
Okay, so we're going to go with the second for retained, 25% retained, and
think so.
Tristan Jarry.
Well, 25% off retained of Tristan Jarry, absolutely. And now you got like the goaltending
Thank
solidified.
God you're
Boom.
not a GM because nobody's taking
Boom.
that.
Like we got rid of the Jeff Skinner contract. You just made your goal. Like guy, he led the NHL in shutouts last year. Boom.
Can you go to Baker's? Can you play there for a little bit?
Wow, but then you don't have
Get
a
some
goalie here.
confidence.
He did do a conditioning stint earlier this year.
Oh, I think that's a great trade. I think it's brilliant.
You know what?
How else are you going to make this work if you're the
I
Oilers?
agree, man. Great.
And you know what? Send Jesse back
Great.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
Throw him,
Send us
throw him
Yessie.
in,
Yeah.
throw him in there.
He just got sent back.
You want to know
down.
something? Then that second's dropping. It's going to third. We'll take Jesse off their hands for them. We'll take 2 guys that they put on waivers. I'm saying we as if I'm now part of the Edmonton Oilers. We're helping them out. We're helping them out. They put these 2 guys on waivers.
I'm surprised the phone's not ringing right now.
Over the last-
Seriously, this is hot right now.
They
Really?
put these 2 guys on waivers over the last 30 days. We are taking them off their hands, but for us to do that, we can't afford Tristan Jarry, so they need to retain some money. So they get Calvin Pickard, they get Jeff Skinner. There's not even a pick anymore. We're helping them. They don't want the guys.
That's the first thing you do when you pick up the phone. Like, you listen, you don't even want these guys anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So now here's where we're going to give to you. You're going to retain the salary to get rid of them,
To help it out, to make this happen.
but we're not going to give you a pick.
You're going to get Jeff Skinner, who's like a goal scorer. They're not watching all their games this year. You just but you saw, they saw him in Buffalo. He can score goals. They saw him in Carolina. He can score goals.
Yeah, I saw them get rid of them.
They don't need to remember that. You
Sorry.
don't.
That's
you,
my
you,
B.
you
That's
tell
my B.
them, you tell them about the good stuff that Jeff Skinner
Yeah.
did. Do you remember that big contract he signed? There was a reason he got that
I like
big
you
contract.
shaping the narrative for them, I think, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah, you
good.
got to
Yeah.
convince them that
That's a good deal.
And then Calvin Pickard, we just signed this guy. We don't want to part ways with
You're
him.
like a modern day Billy Bean.
We don't want to part with Calvin Pickard. We just signed him this summer. We love Calvin
Anderson?
Pickard, but we're going to help you out, and we're going to give you Calvin Pickard.
You don't even like Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. That's all. Stanbome doesn't even need to do this. I'll go do it for
Well,
him.
you got to take some swings, right? You got to take some swings.
Yeah.
Juan says so. You're saying there's a chance.
100%.
You can't get a Tristan Jarry unless you try.
That sucks for him. He's a nice guy.
He was looking really good at one point, just probably 4 years ago or something.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh actually, did they put him on waivers, or was he just going to be a
When
free
they
agent?
had Matt Murray and Jarry. And Jarry kind of took over.
Yep.
But right before that, that summer or something, I think he was he was available the season before or something. Anyone could have had him, and no one touched him. And then he took over from Matt Murray, and he had a great season. It was anyone could have had this goalie, and no one took him. And then I don't know what happened.
This text says, Matt can throw Derek Ryan in with Jeff Skinner. Pretty sure Pitt would jump at it.
Well, now I think we're at a
doing
point.
backflips.
Well, I think now we're at a point where then they're going to have to give something else to the Edmonton Oilers. We're already, and I'm going back to the wheeze here. We're already taking Tristan and Yessi off their hands. Now we need to take, we're giving you Derek Ryan. We're giving you a good player too in that sense.
Former Golden Bear.
We need a third.
Factor that in.
Jarry retained at 25%. Well, we're giving you another good player,
Okay.
a useful player, somebody that can help
You
him.
think that? Okay, sure. You know what? Nope. Just gonna let you roll with this.
We're gonna we're just trying to help Kyle Dubas out here.
Yeah,
Look,
fair
Kyle,
enough.
you've gone to Pittsburgh. You haven't made the playoffs yet. You're trying to turn this thing around. You're close.
Yeah.
Derek Ryan has the experience from last year to help get you there.
You need to get older for sure. More experienced.
Hey, who's been one of the hottest teams in the National Hockey League over the last little while? It's the Edmonton Oilers. Where do they rank in terms of
We're
the
just
age?
gonna give you the guys who've been healthy in that time frame.
You know, I wonder how you respond. I wonder if he'd appreciate, thanks for picking up the phone, Maddie. I don't know why you're calling me or who you are, but I appreciate the input. Or he might be offended. Or he go the other way. He'd be offended. It'd be a quick call.
Yeah. I'll give you the second media guy to make a trade in the NHL.
Yeah. How'd you get this number?
Wow.
Lose this number.
I'm glad that you said it. We were all thinking it, but you said it.
But he might.
I'm just making the Oilers better. Who doesn't want this? Who doesn't want the return of Tristan Jarry to the
Does that
city of
actually make the Oilers better though?
No.
Is Jarry an upgrade over Pickard?
No.
You don't think?
Well,
One's getting sent down, one's not.
yeah. Not at this point.
Well,
One's on one of the hottest teams in the NHL, and one's not.
fair. I don't know. I think, maybe I'm just thinking too much of Jarry of the past. If Jarry can get playing a little bit better, I think he's a better backup. I'd probably have a little more confidence in him in a moment where, because if you're bringing in a Jarry, and look, the Oilers aren't bringing in Jarry. I stand by that. Everything was in jest. It's one of those things, though, where some people take those things seriously.
Yeah, I know.
It's one of those. I think if I let's say Skinner got hurt in the playoffs, I'd have a little more confidence in Tristan Jarry over Calvin Pickard personally.
I get that. Well,
To carry the load.
fair.
To carry the load. That's where I would think they would get better. But the price, like everything about that, says no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because you'd probably have to give up minimum a second to even get them to answer the phone. You'd have to give up a second for sure.
Because of the retention?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Like you can have them for free right now.
I
Like
wonder.
that's the one thing.
Yeah, no, but you have to take
if it's the
the salary.
retention.
Though,
Yeah.
Well, they do got some cap space they're occurring because maybe that's how they spend it.
Can you imagine?
The Oilers and Kirsten, Evander Kane's not going to be back until the playoffs because the Oilers go in and get Tristan Jarry.
Perfect.
Nothing else.
Brilliant.
But that
You
would
would
pretty much
see-
just it, right? Like it's
You would see a lineup of people with pitchforks, with lighters, with Molotov
In the
cocktails.
plaza.
They're burning that thing down.
Okay, I can make this even wilder if you guys want me to go wilder.
You want to get nuts? Let's
I'll get nuts.
Yeah.
get nuts.
This is the start of the talks for the package. For when eventually the Penguins start falling out.
Oh, they
It's
haven't.
Jarry, it's Puljujarvi, and it's Sid the Kid to come play with Connor McDavid. There's how we're building a package around here.
Okay.
This opens the conversations. You start with Jarry, you start about Puljujarvi, and then if you don't bring those two, Sidney Crosby coming to the city of Edmonton. Boom.
I'm curious what you'd give up because I think
Jeff Skinner, obviously.
Colorado's going to go after Crosby because they're best buddies, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
of course.
Yeah, but they're not thinking like we are right now. We're getting the early calls right now.
Fair.
But Utah wants to make a splash, so maybe they're going after Crosby.
Okay.
Crosby's not going. I don't know if
What
I
do you
want
think-
him to
what do you
go.
actually
I
think
don't
it
know
would
if I
take to get
want
him?
him to go somewhere.
I don't want him to either.
I like the idea of him staying
Yep.
Yeah.
there his whole career.
I agree with
He's
you.
that kind of guy too. Don't
Yeah.
you? He's-
Seems like it.
Sign that 2-year extension.
But
What would it
legitimately,
take?
what would it take to get a Sidney Crosby out of Pittsburgh?
So the question I guess you'd have to ask is
This
if
is
you're
how
Kyle,
like the Gretzky trade started, guys. This
Oh.
is it.
if you're Kyle Dubas, are you looking to get immediate pieces to get good right away, or are you looking for pieces of a building block as you go into a rebuild fully thing? I think that's the big question you'd have to ask if you're Kyle Dubas.
I think
initially.
it starts with Nuge.
Don't you dare.
So for Edmonton,
Don't you
I don't
dare.
think Edmonton has the pieces. I don't think Edmonton would have the pieces for it. Also, Kyle Dubas, I don't think would make a trade with a helping trade with the Edmonton Oilers because he was part of that St. Louis
He was
Blues
part
offer
of
sheet.
Yes. We got to remember that because he flipped the pick back to
Back to
St.
St.
Louis
Louis.
so they could do the offer sheet.
Evander. Nuge.
Breaking my
Skinner.
heart.
A second.
Oh, I think that's way too much for Crosby.
Not a chance.
Has he been
Because
asked
of his
if he
age.
would trade? Like if they're
No.
No.
no one like
No.
no reporters got him.
Because they
and
got the
And-
extension. He just signed this summer the
Yeah.
extension. So I think it's like he's committed to staying in Pittsburgh
And
for
a
at least,
prospect.
I would say at least through next year.
We're living in hypothetical world right
I
now.
don't
100%.
think the package for Crosby would be that significant
I do.
because of the age and how long are you going to get Crosby for?
What did Ray Bork get traded for?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
Because that was a year and a bit.
I don't think he got traded for less than 3 pieces.
But then again, it would be, or if you're Kyle Dubas, are you looking for
Could you?
is Nuge and Evander Kane too old for what you're trying to bring in?
Oh, for sure.
So then you'd be looking more for the prospects.
Yeah. The
And
Oilers
picks.
can't. The Oilers can't make that trade.
No. They couldn't make the other trade. If you were having a Nuge and a Kane, you need both those guys to
But a
waive.
man can dream.
Of Crosby?
Crosby
He's gotta
on
have
the
something
line
coming
with,
back, though,
with
right?
McDavid.
Dubas gotta-
would be
can't just be
unbelievable.
picks and prospects, don't you think?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there's got to be
because the other
some-
part to this, if you were legitimately trading Sidney Crosby, you have to go to your fan base
Yeah.
and tell your fan base, we are trading Sidney Crosby. This is what we're getting.
Yeah.
He's not going to be pillar to post Pittsburgh
gotta be
Penguin.
something, yeah.
You've got to be able
Yeah,
to be like, we're presenting you with this. Or the only other way you could sell that is if Crosby asks to leave. If Crosby's like, I would like to get a
Go for
shot at a
another
cup.
run. Yeah.
Here's what
I only have a
yeah,
couple more
yeah,
years.
yeah.
I think you could then just make a trade and Pittsburgh
Yeah.
fans be like, all the best, Crosby. Thank you for everything.
Yeah.
We'll see you on your retirement night type thing.
I have it. Okay, so this is interesting. Let me read this paragraph. Despite a nucleus of young talent and high expectations for 99-2000, injuries caused the Bruins to plummet to the bottom of their division, and they went back on track to miss the playoffs. This was further exasperated by negative attention over teammate Marty McSorley's hit on Donald Brashear. Remember the whack on the head?
Yeah.
With his career nearing an end and the team going in the wrong direction, Bork requested a trade from the fading Bruins so he'd have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Bork and fellow veteran Dave Andrechuk were sent to Colorado in exchange for Brian Rolston, Martin Grenier, Samuel Paulson, and a first-round draft pick was 27th overall, Martin Samuelson. So it ended up being Rolston and Sammy Paulson. I don't remember Martin Grenier, and I don't think anything ever came of Martin Samuelson. So Rolston, Grenier, Paulson, and a first-round draft pick.
For two players.
For two, like, legends, essentially. But Boston was in such a poor spot that year because of everything that was going on.
The key part of that, Bork requested a trade.
Yeah.
And that would be the change.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it all changes. If Crosby's like, I want to go win a cup, and it's not going to be in Pittsburgh anymore, then the value drops relatively quite a bit.
Yeah, no way he says that.
Yeah, no, because Aldo was like, again, the pressure then is a little more off with his fan base, with his ownership, with all of that of, okay, we're going to go get a first, two good prospects for Sidney Crosby. We could say this is the future, wishing Crosby luck. Now, where would Crosby go? That would be the interesting thing. Because again, full hypothetical.
He's going straight to Colorado.
Well, there's that. Or do you want it like he's done everything in his career?
Mm-hmm.
He's almost literally done everything. Did he have a Memorial Cup? Did he win with Rimouski?
Was he?
I don't remember.
I don't know if they did.
Was he Rimouski? He was Rimouski. Yeah.
Yep.
So what else does he want to do in his
But
career?
I would say,
like in his
what
mind?
do you? Are you
Bring
the
a
guy?
cup back to Canada.
Yes.
Ooh.
Does that bring you something? Does that that's a check that you could be the guy that helps bring the cup back to Canada for the first time since '93? That is a pretty cool thing to add to your resume.
Yeah.
He's not bringing hockey like Gretzky to California. He's not.
No, but
Not bringing it to Utah.
No.
In the hockey club.
but bringing the cup
home
back to Canada. You brought the golden goal to Canada.
Yep.
Now you bring a cup back to Canada with
legacy.
and
Hey,
like
what
you
a-
do it with.
That would be it.
Like if you're picking markets to do that with, I like the three that stand above the rest in Canada. It's the Habs because of the history. It's the Maple Leafs because they are a massive.
They're the Mecca.
They are, and it's the Edmonton Oilers partly because of the history of those. You go also win a cup as with Crosby, like with McDavid to be with Leon, but it's who's won cups with the Oilers before. And I stand by if like with McDavid and Leon ever winning in Edmonton. You've done it where the same place Gretzky did it, and Messier did it, and Curry did it, and Fuhr did it, and Coffey did it. Like there is a prestige to the Edmonton Oilers.
True.
If you wanted to add to your, and I don't think Crosby's this guy, like I think he wants Pittsburgh pillar to post. But if you are looking at adding that one more thing to your resume, I think Edmonton is one of those things that you could look at and be like, that would be massive.
Not going to happen.
No.
I agree.
Rimouski lost to London 4-0 in the 05 Memorial Cup.
Okay.
So that's like the only thing he doesn't have.
Yeah. Well, he can't go back there.
He'll buy a team when he's done.
Yeah, maybe he buys it.
He's going to buy a team and just like, I just want to go win a Memorial Cup. Somebody go get me a Memorial Cup.
It was funny when the Oil Kings won the Memorial Cup. It would just sit at the front desk in our old offices in Kingsway. Yeah. And then people, so I'd be like, hey guys, what's going on? And I would just like play with it. The thing is heavy. And yeah, like obviously the players would get it and the staff and stuff. But yeah, for the whole summer, it was just sitting there.
It just sits, man.
And Sandy, who works reception with OEG, I'm like, Sandy, what nice trophy you got there. She's like, yeah, not bad, huh? I'm like, they just left it here with us. They're like, yeah.
We had the CBL trophy all over the place. Like it was at my house for a while. Like it was just in front of the TV. And we had a car dealership for probably way too long. And I had to kind of track it down a bit. But it was in the back of the car for a while. Like, yeah.
It's a nice trophy.
It's a great trophy. It's heavy. It's a little jagged. You got to watch how you grab it because it's got like the Maple Leafs that are in there and they can kind of get you. But yeah, they just hang around.
Canada does trophies better than the U.S.
Agreed.
Straight
Hot
up.
take, but it's right.
The Memorial Cup, the CEBL, a newer trophy that we have, the Stanley Cup, the Grey Cup, better trophies than anything they have down south. Throwing that out there, like the national championship trophy for football.
Even the MLB one is like,
it's just flags around the thing. Like
Brian NBA.
I think that's the worst one.
The World Series.
Yeah.
The Commissioner's Trophy, I believe it's officially named. I like the Larry O'Brien, but it's It's not
But
better
it's a
than
new one every
anything-
year, though, too,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And it's just not better than what we have up here.
Yeah.
The national championship, when they had the BCSs, it was a crystal football that they would hold.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
And now it's just this long thing that has like the football logo at the top. I'm like, this isn't cool.
I don't mind the Lombardi.
It's not bad.
I think it's kind of cool.
Give me the Grey Cup any day. I could drink out of it.
It's true. I don't disagree.
And again, like the Larry O'Brien, it's a new one every year.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have
Yeah,
that
you
history.
like the tradition where it gets passed down and you can do stuff with it, right?
Better
But
designs to it.
like it'd be, for the Lombardi, like you go on a run, Chiefs,
Mhm.
right? In your front office, you just get to keep those ones. Because obviously, I think they make new ones every year, do they not?
And new ones to
Right?
give,
So like
give
you
out.
just keep those
Yes.
ones in there. Because even if you had like the Stanley Cup, you got to make mock Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Like that's a legitimate,
Yeah.
that is your trophy. That's the only thing I like about that trophy. But outside of that, I fully agree with you. Like to me, when you lift the Stanley Cup, like you can see the history on that cup. You can see the history on the Memorial Cup. But something about that Lombardi.
You like
I
Lombardi?
It's
just I
classic.
like it.
It's
I
a
like it,
classy
yes.
look.
Yeah,
But I think our trophies are better.
they're better. For
They're
sure.
better.
Yeah,
Yep.
Lombardi's
Yep.
so small though.
No, but I like it just for the fact that you can, I just won this. Now it goes boom right into my case. I don't have to now make a mock one. It's right there. It's done. I like that. It looks just classy.
I love
But I
the mock
fully
one.
embrace like the fact that everything that we have in Canada in terms of the trophies is way better.
I will go as like, I don't believe I've ever heard of, and I could be wrong on this, that the players get the day with the Lombardi trophy.
Yeah.
Like you don't hear those stories. You hear it
I
with
don't
the
think
stuff
so.
we have in
Yeah,
Canada,
yeah.
but you
They
don't hear
don't.
those stories about
Yeah.
those ones down south. They just go to the owner.
Yeah.
And that was an annoyance of the Grey Cup this year.
I didn't like that.
That was
either.
the first time ever they gave it to the owner. No, it was owner.
Yeah, it was Larry Tannenbaum, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah.
And I've never seen that before. And that was
Yeah.
very annoying.
Hey, okay, speaking of that, I wanted to ask, read this. Did you have a lot of interaction with Mike Moriali when you were doing CE Belt, when you were with the Stingers?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, because when I started, they owned the team, right? So
Yeah.
Mike was the guy who hired me, right? So he was kind of the first call, but we deal with him all the time.
Do you think he would be the right guy to take over as commissioner of the CFL?
You know what? I saw him in Vegas in the summer because he was at the Canada basketball game I was at. And I straight up asked him that because like someone brought it, I don't know if it was you, somebody else brought it up to me.
Yeah.
They were looking at him, right? And he didn't say no. So,
He
I mean,
makes
he's
a lot of
still like,
sense.
he's got long-term doing the CBL. I know he wants to do there. I know he's got part ownership in that as well. But I mean, yeah, how would you not look at him as an ideal candidate?
What are the traits you like about him that he's like a good commissioner or leader or owner?
Yeah, I think he's a really strong leader. I think he's a really good communicator. He's definitely got the media and the PR side. Whenever he's doing an interview or a podcast or something, he's a great ambassador for the league, right? He checks those boxes. I think also the fact that he was an athlete, like the way he interacts with the players and the GMs and the coaches, like he's got that side of it. So he does think kind of athlete first on it. And he's a pretty class act in my opinion, right? So he's got like, he's kind of got a good aura about him too, right? You can throw him in any room and you can sit down and have a good business conversation, and then you can go have, beer and wings with some players or something like that, right? So yeah, I think it would make a lot of sense. That
Played in the
story
league for
to
a
get him
long
in
time,
there.
yeah.
And he's still deeply passionate about the CFL.
Yeah.
I had him on. I was doing, I think, 2 guys or something, a roll stream. And I quickly had him on just because he was doing media rounds during the playoffs last year. And I asked about the CFL too. And it was like he was still following. He's still paying attention, like especially his tie cats and stuff.
Yes.
That's his league.
Yeah.
And I'd if they hire anyone else but him, as if he's interested, I'd have to really see that resume of who they're hiring, because I think it would be the wrong hire.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be dumb not to have the conversation, right? He'd be dumb not to entertain it and see what the offer looks like and that. And that was always kind of talks like they might come at him pretty hard.
And then
It might be tough.
The CFL should have more money than anything in the CBL. Like, they've got MLSE, they've got Larry Thompson money, they've got Amar Dome and Pelado. They've got a lot of money behind them.
It's
and
a
stuff.
well-paying gig.
They should be able
It's a
to go get
well-paying
the money, and they should convince. Like, I don't think there's someone else that you need to go get. This is a guy that's built a league from scratch, basically. Knows how to run a league, knows the Canadian Football League. You need someone to come in and do that and give it player, business, all of that. He's got it all. And I think a little bit better than Randy, because he's got the sports business as opposed to just business background.
Yeah.
Give me Mike Morale.
Ambrosi ran or was a CEO for a Fortune 500 company prior to this, right?
Because he turned it down once, I believe, his CFL commissioner job. because of his business or like what his role.
Yeah. Now he didn't do a brutal job or anything like that. He took over from one of like the worst tenures in CFL commissioner history, and there's been a lot of them. Like Jeffrey Orridge was just not the right guy.
Didn't work.
Yeah, and but like CFL 2.0 was a bit far fetched. All the affiliations to the obscurely Mexico, Finland, you know, all those weird leagues, and then the global player thing.
They lost the season. 2020.
Lost the season
when CBL played, CPL played, everyone played.
That's the biggest thing
the
that'll stick with Randy, right? Is not being able to, when nothing else was going on, there was a chance to get out there and still play a modified schedule league, no fan, whatever that was. And since they lost, I mean, I think everyone will say that, like it's never come back the way they'd wanted to, right?
The TV numbers have been pretty good, but you're right, like people in stands and perception's not a good thing. Like people want to dump on the league, unfortunately.
It was whenever there would be like labor negotiations prior to COVID, I always be like, the CFL can't afford to lose a season because once people, once you give a reason for people to go find something else to do in the summer, they might enjoy it more and they won't come back. And then we saw it, and I think like in this market, I think is one of them.
Part too, right? Like imagine if there was no football or anything at the time, and you were one of the only leagues that was out there playing, doing something, right? Where could that have taken you when it all got back to normal?
Yeah, especially if you had a good product. Right, like
and they were coming off a good year in 19.
Exactly. So it hurt him big time.
Randy's tenure to me, the bad is everything we've said there. He didn't grow anything. He even talked about it at the Grey Cup. Franchise values didn't grow as much as he would have. Like they didn't grow at all. And he wanted to. He said it early in his tenure, I believe, that he wanted to double franchise values. Didn't get that done. Now again, COVID does not help that. The good thing that he did, and I will give him credit for, is that he does leave with probably the most stable ownership group we've ever seen in the Canadian Football League.
I think
across the board.
Across the board. With the money that's involved, with the franchises. There was a lot of issues that popped up throughout his time. And Montreal took a couple of opportunities. Yeah. But BC's in a great spot. Edmonton's in a great spot. Yeah. You know, Toronto, we will see what happens with MLSE. That's out of Randy's control. Right. But there was money there. Peledo and Montreal. Like, this is one of the
Young and Hamilton.
This is one of the most stable CFL ownerships I think we have. Like, even in the end, they don't care. It's the Flames in Calgary, right? Like, there's still money there. And it's like, this is...
And that is kind of priority number one, is stabilize your ownership, right? I mean, like, so if he did that, you got to check it on him.
I will give him... I'll have to give him credit for that.
I would say the energy, like having somebody new, a little more dynamic, more energy would do amazing things for the league, right? Whether that's Mike or somebody else on it. But.
Get Team 10 in there, and away we go.
There you go.
Quebec City apparently is now the focus.
But also no touchdown game this year. Atlantic, Pacific, and none of them. Farhan had it, I think, over the weekend, that there won't be an off-site game this year.
Is there a schedule out yet or no?
No.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
We're still waiting.
What's that about? Like,
no idea.
It was always kind of before Christmas or something, right?
For like 7 years in a row, it was outside of 1 year, which was for some reason in November. Yeah. It was around December 12th, 13th, 14th, in that range. And this year it's getting delayed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So hopefully next week. Reed had it last week that somebody he was talking to said last week was a for sure no at the time when Reed said it. He said this week was a maybe.
Yeah.
So
but it's tough to have those conversations on a season ticket holder. Like if you don't know the schedule, especially something like that where it's 10 days on the weekends, you're trying to plan out weddings, all this other stuff going on. Yeah. It's a tough one. You want to sell that before Christmas to get those additional buys.
People want to plan
with all the
summer.
new, like, you know, everything new that's going on with the team.
Yeah.
Too, right. But,
I got to get my tickets.
That's right. I'm one of those guys just like, auto renew. It's fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have those. That's fine, right? But you want to give the sales team something to talk about before. And
good point.
You know, second week of January is a little bit tougher conversation. Yeah. Right?
Hey, well, and that person's sitting there with their husband and wife going, "What are we gonna do this summer? Like, are we gonna go on a trip, whatever?" And they don't know what the schedule is. Maybe there's a spot on the schedule. The Elks are gone for 2 weeks, and that's a perfect time to go for a trip or whatever.
I was shocked how slow January was. Like, I know the first year Stingers, okay, we're gonna hit it like Jan 2nd. Let's go hard. And it's just really tough to have those conversations with even sponsors or season ticket holders or anyone to buy it. Like, it was just like, come talk to me in a month or two.
Nobody's in the mood.
No,
right?
Nobody was in the mood for it. And it would, no matter all the kind of tactics, you throw offers on there, free giveaways, contests, all kind of stuff. It was really tough. Yeah.
It's all the right momentum, I guess. I don't understand that side of it, but I kind of get it. Yeah, because it's like that malaise after the Christmas break.
You get parking with your season tickets?
No, I scoot to the games, even
Yeah,
when I
scoot.
work them.
I haven't taken the scooter. I've been parking somewhere and then scoot. Yeah. I even hopped the kid on one of the scooters.
Enjoy the hell out of it.
It's great.
That's kind of cool.
Good $5.
I would need a parking pass, I think.
I don't know how that works. You'd have to ask Hernan.
That's
You
just
know.
because I'm in the South. So
LRT?
You know
Parking
what?
ride's free.
Call
It's actually
them.
really nice.
the
Call them.
LRT.
And go, yes, hi, Shawn Belle, new season ticket holder here. I need
Put it on
a
the
parking
table.
pass.
Here's what
I need a pass.
That's where you
Yeah.
drop it. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, exactly.
You either want me or not.
I'm Georges Laroque.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would say.
On
Yeah.
game days, it's nice.
Yeah.
I've gone with Cam on the LRT to and from games and
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
And it's pretty, because there's a lot of people doing it.
This is true.
And actually getting on after the game because they renovated the stadium station.
It's really nice.
It's
Better than
seamless.
when you had to go under and then.
And it was like this
that was a
huge
bit
lineup.
much.
Now it's really nice and quick way of getting out. The trains will get packed, but it's actually not too bad that way. Or you just get the parking pass.
Yeah, parking pass. I'm over it. I'm over the train.
That's why I scoot, baby.
It's so disappointing.
Drive to his place and scoop.
I could
Yeah.
do that actually.
Yeah,
But
he's got the
it's
extra
very
business.
disappointing like with the train system here in the city. I'm just disappointed in
That's
it.
because we didn't build it properly years ago.
So I just don't
Was it
wanna
just a
take
straight line in the middle of the city as if
It was
it
a
helped?
diagonal line.
Yeah.
They started off good underground. That was
Yeah.
a smart idea.
Yeah.
Great
Back in the
idea.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just didn't really do much for a lot of years.
We're just
Imagine
spread out.
that. Hey, back in the 70s, you're like, you know what? Let's build a train underground. And then we fast forward to now and it's like,
Yeah.
let's build it up in the air
Let's
like a
build it,
sky
yeah.
train like in Vancouver. And somebody goes, no, it's ugly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They just put it right on street level,
We'll just put it right on the street level.
except by West Ed.
Yeah.
West Ed's higher.
It's crazy.
It's
You
the
see
way,
those
like,
pillars there? It's
yeah,
nuts.
you go to like New York or something, it's all above. It's
Yeah.
great. Works so nice. Or Seattle's like underground. Their busing system's like underground or something like that.
I remember we took the train, I think, from the airport there. I remember being above. But
I remember going we were downtown going to the stadium and we're in a bus and we're like in like these tunnels that were like only for buses or something. Maybe it was just because it was game day or something like that.
Yeah.
Bones texts in and says, hi, Shawn Belle here. I'm kind of a big deal in the city. Pro athlete, pro broadcaster, 32-inch thighs. Could use a parking pass. Could use a parking pass. Might be a good idea for you to come comp me one. Thank you, Bones. That was good.
That's
Yeah,
well
that is
done.
good. Yeah.
I think that's hard to say no to. Really.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Bell. You can come pick it up at the team store tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got Oiler
Can you
lines.
imagine that phone call if you're on the other end?
That's so obnoxious.
What are you talking about? No.
Well, you got to take it to your manager. You got to be like, hey, you got this. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
They got a new ticket manager. JMO was the intern.
And
for this
JMO's not
season.
doing it anymore?
No, they hired someone else. JMO
Okay.
wasn't
I'd be
gonna do
going
it.
right to Brad.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chochu would be.
Yeah,
Like,
handsome Brad, hit him up, right?
great
Brad.
guy. Great
Let's
guy.
talk about
we have Oilers lines
Okay, lay it on us.
from Bob Stauffer in St. Paul. No Tristan Jarry on these lines yet. So
Okay.
just throwing that out there. McDavid between Nuge and Hyman. Draisaitl centering put Colson and Arvidsson. Henrik between Janmark and Brown. Philp between Perry and Kapanen. And then extra skaters skating to Genner with Skinner and Ryan. Because they're part of my trade for Jarry.
Extra speed.
Extra. So they had two extra skaters today, Skinner and Ryan. Nurse Stetcher, Kulak Bouchard, Brown, Emberson, Ekholm not on the ice. Pickard in the starter's net. So there goes from him in my trade for Tristan Dury.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, so again, McDavid between Nugent, Hyman, Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Henrik between Janmark and Brown, Philp between Perry and Kapanen, Skinner, Ryan as extra skaters, Nurse Stetcher, Kulak Bouchard, Brown, Emberson as the D pairings, and then Ekholm not on the ice. Pickard getting the start tonight.
Okay.
There's your lines, courtesy of Bob Stauffer of the Oilers Radio Network.
Thank you, Bob.
Bobby Stoff.
I don't know what's up with Ekholm, like unless he's not
gotta be
feeling
sick.
well. Yeah, because he's on the trip. I don't recall him getting nicked up in that last game the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Could he have a maintenance day? Would they ever do that if you're having this type of skate?
Well, he doesn't usually take optionals. He might, and like there's all these colds going around right now that are just killing people.
There's lots of maintenance days out
and
there.
I don't mean literally killing them, but like just knocking.
Second
people
half
out.
of the year,
Yeah.
it's maintenance, right? Make sure you're healthy.
Could be. Maybe he's got a bug and they're just pumping him with fluids and telling him to rest.
Yeah.
See if you can
See
go
if he's
tonight.
good for tomorrow then. Yeah.
Or just tonight even.
Yeah.
I remember Nuge got sick one time and he left the rink with like a huge bag with like 12 Gatorades in it. And they're like, just go sleep.
Really?
Get it out of your system.
I would hope it'd be a little more sophisticated than that. Like
No.
pop by the 7, grab some Gatorades and
Well, from the cooler in
and
the
let's
back.
hope you're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. I'd hope you get an IV or something.
I'm sure they IV'd him.
Let's
like,
IV.
in the
Right?
room.
Let's
Yeah.
put him. Yeah.
But I remember he's just like walking out. I'm like, how many Gatorades do you need? He's like, I'm sick. Shut up.
Shut up. I got to drink all these.
Yeah.
You're not leaving until you sit and you drink all these
Yeah.
Gatorades.
Like, okay.
Like, what was he doing on the bench? That's
Yeah.
a better question.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how are you getting through that?
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have an answer of what's up with that comb for the update before the hangout ends. But for sure, today it's Wednesday, which means the oil stream noon to 1.
Yeah.
Tommy and Dusty will update you on that if Dusty
Okay.
doesn't catch it before during the lock shop and throw it out there. So just throw
And-
that out there.
We've got a guest on Oil Stream today. It's going to be Ryan Holt,
Nice.
play-by-play voice of the Bakersfield Condors.
Nice.
Nice.
We'll get a Philp update on like why he
Yeah.
was the right guy to bring up. Obviously, Derek Ryan's kind of on the decline. We talked about it. Someone
Don't
actually,
say that too loud. We're trying to send him to Pittsburgh.
Oh, right. We need to
No,
up
yeah,
his
yeah.
value. Yeah, for this
You
big
gotta
deal.
showcase him.
Again, back to Louise for me on that one. It's my trade. I'm taking ownership of this trade.
Respect.
So yeah, we'll figure that all out. But there's your Oilers lines for tonight, as they're in Minnesota today. First of 2 games. I'm just gonna go with maintenance because it's 2 games back to back. We're now into the second half of the season.
Yep.
Why does he I know everyone else is out there, but maybe there's just the little something there. It's like, okay, we'll just take the cut to. You don't need to practice. We'll see you tonight.
You're not getting a ton out of practice right now, unless it's you're trying to go over something new system wise. But for the most part, you're getting your reps. You're trying to stay sharp, and that's what it is because you play so much.
Yeah.
Why would they do a full skate today? When's the last time they did a morning skate like this?
Well,
Where everyone was
on
out there?
Saturday they did.
Did they?
Or when was the game day? Monday. Pardon me. Monday
Yeah,
they
Monday.
did.
Did they do a full skate
They
on Monday?
did because they had a travel day, and then they took Sunday off, and then yesterday same thing. They did travel day, no skate,
Yeah.
and then so they're back on the ice full pull. That's kind of the rule of thumb there.
There was a time, was it when Brent Sutter was coaching in New Jersey? Right around that time, there's probably a stretch like 5 years where everybody was just getting rid of morning skates,
Yeah,
and now they've kind of slowly crept back in.
I think Rod Brindamore makes the morning skate pretty much mandatory.
Yeah.
But that's Rod
Yeah.
Brindamore.
Where do you stand
Rod the
on that?
bod, yeah. He's out there.
Yeah.
For me, I'm on the fence because I've kind of done it all, I guess. I also had Guy Boucher as a coach that just challenged everything, right? Like hockey players they're creatures of habit, and they want to make sure that they have a routine. And he would just go in and crush your routine. He's like, well, that's how you fall into traps. He's like, because when there's adversity and you're based in a routine, he's like, well, now you're not going to play good because now you're off your routine. And so he would always try to challenge us. And some days on purpose, he would be like, hey, no morning skate, and 2 days off, then play a game. You're like, wait a second, what do you mean? Because everybody's like, well, no, you got a morning skate. And he's like, well, did you forget how to skate? Did you forget how to pass, shoot? He's like, no, it's all in your head. He's like, so like, let's train your.
So he
your,
purposely tried to mix it up all
Yep,
the time.
all the
Throw
time.
different things
Wow.
at you.
And we were good. We were really good, actually.
Cass always says that he wanted and needed the morning skate, especially if it was like 2 days between games, because he needed to feel sharper about catching
I
passes
felt the
and stuff.
exact same way. And then I met Guy. And then I was like, well, yeah, you're actually right. Like it actually is in your head. You don't forget it.
Right.
Because it like, a lot of people talk about hockey being mental. 80% mental and it's 20% physical.
Mhm.
And so if you really tap into that mental side of the game, like you can actually grow your game quite a bit. And so then the more he started challenging that, I was just like, that actually kind of makes sense. And so like when I ended up being in Colorado and Lake Erie after I got traded from Edmonton,
Yeah.
I don't know if I practiced because I came off an ankle injury. I can't remember if it was a high ankle sprain or not, but when I was in Lake Erie in Colorado, I don't think I practiced for almost a month and a half.
Jeez.
I only played games. So if I was in Lake Erie, I was resting my ankle. If I was not there, I was in Colorado and I was playing games and then I was getting sent back down. So it was like, yeah, not a chance.
I do remember talking to you after that last game of the season in Colorado. It was
Man,
an
did that
afternoon
feel
game.
so good.
You guys won, yeah. And you were paired up with Adam Foote.
With Adam Foote.
That was his last game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we probably should have had a penalty in that game because Adam like absolutely mugged Timu Hartikainen.
He certainly did.
Like I'm pretty sure Timu's feet were off the ground and he was like flailing his legs and guys were like, "That's a penalty. That's holding." Yeah. You're like, absolutely right, but it's Adam Foote's last game. You can't call a penalty.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So we only have a few more minutes left.
I got an update on Ekholm from Gene.
Perfect.
Uncle Gene Principe says Chris
Gino.
Knobloch says Ekholm will be a game time decision. He did not skate this morning.
Okay.
So there you go. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just trying to
Go ahead.
sickness or a little bit of an injury.
I'm assuming
banged up.
sickness, but
Yeah.
because if you're hurt, you're not traveling.
Yeah.
And this is like a 5-day road trip.
Unless like he just needs a day or two. Like maybe he's ready to go to probably illness. Makes more sense.
That's my guess.
It makes more sense.
Yeah.
But no, one thing I wanted to get to on the show with Reed here from Sport Edmonton, one initiative you've done before Sport Edmonton, Fresh Nets. You've now expanded that. It's gone from basketball nets around the city to hockey nets.
Hockey nets. Yeah, we're the king of the nets, right? So we did 400 basketball nets and rims going in the summer and that in the fall. So that was pretty cool. I got a bunch of guys out there change some of the rims because if the rims don't have like little grommets, you can't like put a net up there. You just zip tie it, it stays for a while, but not forever. So we did that, and then we kind of went to the Edmonton Community League Federation, who kind of oversees all the community leagues. You know, there's like 120 outdoor community league rinks in the city. It's crazy. And we said, hey, why don't we do like nets for that as well, right? And they were all for it, so they put it out to all the leagues. And we said, whoever needs a new net, let us know. So I think we got about 60 something in right now. And we're just finishing up drop-offs and installs this week. So we'll be doing some north side ones, south side ones too. But we're giving them like the mesh for the nets, new ones. And there's some old beat up ones that are like tying with shoelaces.
Yeah.
So it helps. And then there's been a few cases where the nets are too old to even actually put a new like mesh or whatever you want to call it on there. So we've been actually getting brand new like nets in the frames and dropping them off.
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
So there was one that was like, he's like, I don't know where this is from. This is like 1930s or something like that. It's been welded a bunch of times. He's like, there's not a regulation net that like Bauer makes or anyone makes to put this on there. So we're able to partner up with United and get some new nets to them.
Okay.
Well. So yeah.
I love that it's gone to hockey and ODRs. Like, you're right. Like, some of the nets just haven't been touched in years. And some guys might be like, it's part of the charm. No, man. Like, if the puck goes through the net, the goal is for it
it's
to...
the same thing with basketball. There's no net. It sucks, right?
And if you're that kid that goes out there, like you want to hit the back of the net.
We got something special with that. Like, there's not that many places really in the world that have our kind of climate that can do the ODRs.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm meeting all these volunteers and a few little like paid rink attendants who like keep these up for 20 years. Like it's crazy. And some of these spots they got really good vibes. Like Sherbrooke, we're at. They got a TV in there, so the kids are watching Oilers games while they're playing.
Yes.
They put LED lights in for like the blue and the red light.
Yep.
And then they're serving like pizza pops for $2, free hot chocolate.
I love
The
that.
community league is so underrated.
Man, this is a hang. Like, I want to come hang here. This is a great spot.
Memberships
Kids
are cheap.
Yeah, to do it all. So, if there's any community leagues out there who still need nets, like hit us up. Hit us up on sportedmonton.com. Hit me up, whatever, and we'll get them out to you. So
That can't be a cheap endeavor because, like, what?
Yeah, they're a little more expensive than basketball nets. It isn't. So we're working actually with the Oilers Community Foundation, working with Hockey Edmonton on that.
Excellent.
The city of Edmonton, of course, and the Federation Community League. So they're kind of all supporting this initiative.
Okay, the rink that you went to, we don't have to name it, that had the old nets that not regulation welded together from the 30s. Like, there are those. Do you remember, like, back in the day, the squared outdoor nets?
That's it.
Yeah, I remember those. I'd be like, what the hell is this? And my dad's like, that's just an outdoor net, man.
Yeah,
that's
100% what it is. Yeah,
I mean, like he said to me,
yeah.
he's like, I think these are pre-World War II. Like, this is like this game with the community league. It hasn't been touched.
They're not throwing them away. I will say that though.
We're like, I don't want to set a precedent. We're like dropping brand new net because that gets even more pricier, right? But I'm like, there's certain cases where You give us that compelling story, we'll make it happen and find the funds to do that.
There's something about those square nets on the ODR that just feels right.
They have that weird sound.
I don't want them to go away. I think there's a plan to use those. There's got to be something we can
You
do
keep them
with
on the
them.
side.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to throw them out,
It's an art piece, right? Like it's classic. So yeah, that's the play. But it's going really well. And in the spring, like, we're talking maybe volleyball nets too.
Ooh.
That might be the next
Wow.
fresh nets
That'd be
kind of
good.
addition. Doing volleyball nets at community leagues.
Is that or tennis?
Yeah.
Or is that
I think tennis are probably
Are they good?
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to do you want to talk about like soccer nets for all, like, you see all the poles just in the middle of random fields.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't know why those haven't been done. I don't know if they're like
But
worried
I think
about
you need to
animals
hold
getting-
them up. You need to put something, I think, to hold up the nets because they're just the frame.
Oh yeah, you'd have to get that.
So you
but
have to get the
people are like,
frames
well,
on
they
the
might
outside or
steal
something.
them. Like, who's stealing like a giant soccer net?
Oh, I
somebody,
wouldn't put it past
I
some
wouldn't put it
people.
past anybody. I heard that about the basketball net too. It's like, oh, some of the ones, and then I think they said Northside, Tommy, and they're like, they're stealing the
Shocking. I'm
nets.
from there. I'm
And
so surprised.
I was like, no,
Yeah.
they're not. And I don't really think too many basketball nets get stolen, but the soccer nets would be like, you'd get to thousands though. It'd be
But-
tons.
I do remember, like, when I played soccer as a kid, we had our own nets, and I would help put them up.
I know what they do. Like they put
Yeah.
them up and then they take them
Yeah,
down.
exactly. We
I'm
had
like, what would be
two-
the harm in
two pails.
keeping them? Like, is an animal going to get caught in there? Or, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you definitely have to connect something like you were mentioning to that because just the frame.
Yeah, because
Like,
it just
how's
hang.
that?
Yeah,
it's
it's-
just
You
gonna
have to
hang
bring it
down.
out, and I'm
They got
assuming
ways
there's
of doing it.
holes,
They-
but then
there's-
is it?
there's-
But maybe those break too easily or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a great program, though. It's really cool to see
Well
that
done.
it's expanding to the hockey as well. It's for kids.
I
They
like
want
that.
that's the small things that make a huge difference.
Yeah, small things makes a big difference. Show someone cares in the community. And like, I just love that kids can go across the street and playing soccer or hockey or basketball, whatever. They don't have to get into this programming stuff. They can't do it. Just go there and play.
Community league membership's $5 for a year. Jasmine in the nasty chat. Thanks for listening to the Hangout. Pickard confirmed for tonight as per Jack Michaels. We said that
Chingy.
Yeah,
like-
Chingy.
10 minutes ago.
Chingy.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was 10 minutes ago. But thanks for tuning into the Hangout, Jasmine. Appreciate you showing up right at the end. 3 minutes left, but thanks for your appearance, Jasmine.
Larzy is asking if we could repeat Reed's website. So I would say that, and as well as Fresh Nets and Sport Edmonton.
Yeah. cityofchamps.ca is where you get this amazing Trappers hat and all of our other gear and this e-shirt. And then sportedmonton.com. Yeah, hit us up and you can just put it in the contact or you email it and then let us know if there's any community leagues out there that still need some nets.
Perfect.
Jasmine. No, Jasmine comes back. Ha! Oh, bleep. No.
I would like to get
Never
your guys' take on one thing.
Chingy.
Okay.
Totally off.
Okay.
What do you think about the City of Champions slogan for the city? Right now, there is no slogan.
No,
think
we got
we
rid of
should.
it.
We got rid
We
of
got
it?
rid of City Champions.
I think it was Iverson. It got rid of it.
Yeah.
And it was Cat, whatever. And so we don't have one right now.
I say I don't think they should have got rid of it. I know that a lot of it has to do with the championships of the 80s and whatever.
but it's not.
But it
it's
never
not-
came
it
from
wasn't-
that.
it
It
wasn't.
came from the
Exactly.
tornado.
Yeah.
It came from the
Yeah.
tornado.
Yes.
It's like Boston Strong. That's not going away anytime soon.
No.
So we should keep it. We should have it back.
The 80, the success of the 80s just added to it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it's from a city perspective of the resilience through the 87 tornado. Awesome. And then what adds on top of that is, where the city was just dominant
I thought we
between the
overthought that.
two
Yeah.
cities or the two franchises just winning.
That's a nice
and I think the
add-on.
travel,
Yes.
it's the add-ons.
Yeah.
It should have never left.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it made no sense.
All right. Well, we might be working on something, so we'd appreciate your support on that initiative. But I'd like to get it back.
I think
Like to get back.
everyone still calls it City of Edmonton or City of
I
Champions.
like the signs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people
Yeah.
have them.
Like
You know what's kind of like a salt in the wound too is like we have those welcome to Edmonton signs on all the major highways coming into town, and when they remove the City of Champions motto, it's just a blank space where you drive by and you're like, that should be something. Like, what the hell is?
Yeah.
It never
dumb.
made sense.
our
at the time.
sign game right now is pretty weak.
It is
Right? Like
Yeah.
you land at the airport, you know it's 40 kilometers away. It might be minus 20. You know, it's kind of like saying, and then you get to Edmonton and you see the sign. It doesn't look that great.
And they got rid of
Could have had
the
a nice
Duke number
thing.
one.
Yeah, could add
That's
the Derek
gone.
was there too. Like
That's what I'm
the
saying.
Derek
the
is-
first impressions are really important.
They
right?
got rid of it. I'm
And,
like, where the hell's the Derek?
If you're coming here for a sporting event too, that would be a nice little tie-in.
Yes.
And even the City of Champions, like even if no one from out of town notices, it's nice as an Edmontonian to drive by. Like, that's who we are. Like,
And he likes to see the bus. He likes to see the bus
Yeah.
when the team's coming in. They're like, City Champions. When they're like,
Yes.
yeah,
I'm
that's
all
what we
for
are.
it.
The-
That's what we are. Bring your
amazing.
best.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It literally made no sense of why to get rid of it, especially when you didn't replace it.
Yeah.
It's not like we had some other replacement that came and like, okay, you're doing a marketing campaign around this. Okay, that makes sense. It was just, we're getting rid of City of Champions. Okay.
What was the reason that they got rid of it in the
I
first place?
forgot. We got it.
man.
We only got
this
seconds
was
left.
trying to be a
Time
new slogan or something, but it never came.
Okay.
Right.
I'll just use Denver, for example. You think our drive to the airport's long, go to Denver. And they have like this huge statue of a like bucking bronco on the free, you know it because you played there. And you're like, whoa, that's intimidating. And but it's part of their identity. And I don't know. You got rid of Leduc #1, the oil derrick, and our sign has just a blank space underneath because we didn't want to use City of Champions anymore. Stupid.
So we got to wrap up, but quickly, what it was because City Council felt it was no longer an accurate representation of the city. Iveson claimed his rationale was, quote, we're in a post-tagline era, end quote, and then he wanted Edmonton to move Edmonton in a new era, which we still all call it just the city.
I think we're in a tagline era. Yeah. I'm always a believer in
Who
a big
doesn't like a
slogan
tagline?
Come on, right?
Doesn't change. Edmonton Sports Talks, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
There you go.
Our tagline. Thanks for coming in, Reed. Really appreciate it. Awesome
Always,
stuff
man.
you're doing.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Good
Reed.
seeing you, Belsey. We'll catch you on the pregame show. Catch you in Oil Stream and pre and post game show. Lock Shop, Oil Stream, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, GCL Diesel, Oil Stream, pre and post game show. That's all still to come here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Thanks for tuning into the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Lock Shop coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here. Joining us today,